Michael, I kind of feel like I have to apologize this week.
To it.
If it's to the world, to everybody listening. I don't know. I feel like I've been really off my game recently. Like, I haven't been sleeping very well. And like last night, I went to sleep. I was like, got the podcast tomorrow. You know, I gotta go for it. I'm gonna get some Taco Bell. I'm gonna go to sleep early, and then I'm like old now, so I went to sleep the wrong way, and I woke up halfway through the night with Taco Bell trying to crawl out of my stomach and murder me. It was fucking terrible. So yeah, sorry everybody, but here's the Rage Select podcast here on Rage Select. I know that's not the best intro, but I'm Jeff.
And I'm like, but it's very on brand.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I feel like recently, like I was really trying hard to get through Elden Ring. Like, okay, put it this way. I want to make sure that none of this comes back. Like, you and Tessa and Amanda and fucking everybody's been so good.
Oh, okay.
But like, I fucked up the audio on Project Triangle Strategy. It kind of sounds like shit. And like, I picked this full motion video thing for Amanda and I to play, and we were kind of hard to do. And I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I'm gonna try to be better. We're gonna do better. I feel bad about this week, about the things that I have done. Like I said, nothing to do with anybody that I'm doing stuff with. But I also figured out that I apparently just did all the dates wrong. So like, probably could have been playing like Ghostwire Tokyo instead of Project Triangle Strategy that's like 3 weeks old, or
happens, Jeff.
Like Kirby is coming out on the same day as the rest of it, so I gotta like stretch all this stuff out. Anywho.
Poyo.
Yes. But we do have a whole podcast full of news this week.
We do.
It's a very strange week. It's a very strange week for a podcast. There's no like unifying. Last week we had a whole bunch of like states of play and conferences, and like here's a Monster Hunter presentation, and this week it's like fucking just throwing the dice of like random news. Like,
that's true.
Yeah, there's like a fuzzy controller in here. We'll get to that. We'll get to
the
that.
fuzziest of controllers.
But before we get to that, I didn't have anything to talk about this week, Michael, and so last night I was just like looking around at the media for something to put in the thumbnail, and I ended up watching that movie Fresh on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
With
I
Sebastian Stan. Yeah. It was okay. Like, it's nobody should go out and buy Hulu for it, but
it's
it was
a weird
like
fucking thing from what I hear.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of what's that one that everybody liked that had the Britney Spears song in it? I
don't even.
Promising Young Woman.
Oh, okay.
Promising Young Woman.
I never saw that one.
Kind of one of those where it's just like you're watching it and you're just like, man, I would never date again. Like, this is horrifying.
Just don't date Sebastian Stan and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a whole different thing when it's like, oh, I just like went to this hotel and the room is haunted, or like I'm staying at this summer house and a bunch of murder people showed up. But there's this movie where it's like the first 30 minutes of Fresh is a romantic comedy that I was like smiling along with, and then I was like, oh god no, what the fuck, you guys.
Yeah,
like,
I don't want to spoil what happens, but it's interesting.
It's no good.
Yeah.
Also, if you're one of those people that's teetering on the edge of whether you want to eat meat or not, this may not be the best movie for you to watch right now.
That's also probably true. Yes.
But no, it was pretty good. It's interesting watching Sebastian Stan in something where it's just like he's not the Winter Soldier. Every time I see him, he's a fucking Winter Soldier, right? He's the Winter Soldier in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and then the Winter Soldier show.
Pam and Tommy, though.
I watched like 20 minutes of that, and I was just like, I don't think I want to watch.
That was the only other thing I know he's done.
I mean, like, if you want to see a lot of.
Oh wait, he's in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, I never watched Hot Tub Time Machine.
You should watch Hot Tub Time Machine.
Everybody
that
says
movie's really good,
but I don't wanna. I don't
it's
wanna.
Legitimately good.
Don't tell me what to do. I'll do it. I'm gonna watch Hulu original movies. That's all I'm watching from now on.
There's nothing else.
But no, it was all right. It was kind of well put together, and I liked it. And it was fucking horrifying. I was like squirming in my seat. And yeah, so if you've got Hulu and you want to be all creeped out and fucked up, then like, I don't know, maybe watch it. But also don't let me like oversell it. Like, it's not fucking Audition or anything. Like,
no, that's a fucking crazy ass movie.
Yeah. I've always told the story about how a coworker described the entire plot of Audition to me in detail. And like what I imagined was so fucked up that when I actually watched the movie, I was like, well, this isn't so bad. I don't know what the fuck.
That's actually what happened to me, actually. Somebody explained to me audition. I'm like, that sounds so horrific. And I watched this. Yeah, actually, this wasn't not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. It's still pretty bad, but not nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
Turns out I can imagine a lot of fucked up shit.
Turns out well, that's the same thing, yes. It's a good movie. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched, besides Halo, I started The Dark Place.
Dark Place.
It's that show with Matt Berry.
Okay.
And, a bunch of other, I forget the other actor's name, but he's Richard A. Yoda.
Okay.
I think is his name. But it's like an old British comedy show that's supposed to be like a fake show written by an author who's like a terrible author.
Uh-huh.
So the show is just like, it's supposed to be this Twilight Zone-y type thing set in a hospital.
Okay.
But it's purposely bad.
Okay.
And so like there's you'll see a lot of screenshots for it every now and then. Like there's one famous one where he's like, I know a lot of authors who use subtext and they're cowards. Is
Matt Berry the author?
No, he plays an actor who the author hired to be in the show with him.
Oh, okay.
And I don't even know the actor's name who plays the author, but it's really funny. It's only one season. It's on Amazon. It's like 20 minutes each, and there's only like, I want to say 8 episodes, something like that.
Okay.
But it's really, really funny.
Have you seen that compilation where somebody took the robot from Book of Boba Fett and then put a bunch of Laszlo's lines?
No, I did not see that.
That shit is great.
Yeah, Matt Berry is also really funny in this show too, because there's a lot of lines where because like I said, it's purposely bad.
Yeah.
So there's a part where this woman, like in the beginning, this woman shows up. It's like, I want to be a doctor. And they're like, that's fantastic. Can you start now or whatever? And Matt Berry shows up. He's like, hi, are you a woman? It's like just out of nowhere. Like it's just like random shit like that. Like just back and forth. And it's really funny. Like there's with the bad special effects and stuff.
Okay.
And people just screaming like randomly, just like,
Michael.
It's really funny.
The people want to know about the Halo fucking show.
Yes,
all
we
right.
should talk
the people
about
want to
Halo.
know about the Halo show.
So I watched Halo.
Yeah.
There's only one episode out to the public. Apparently they showed the first 2 at South by. Because a friend of mine went because he's part of a cosplay group.
Okay.
For Spartans.
Okay.
And they invited them to go and meet the cast and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Great.
But, so he liked the show, so I was like, okay, I'll give the show a shot. I watched it, and it's different. As the best way of putting it. It's if you like the best way I can describe it. The way the plot goes forward is if you took RoboCop and took a lot of the politics of the way the Federation is in Gundam, like the original UC Gundam, and threw it together, kind of thing.
See, I think you're making. Look, I haven't watched this yet, but I'll be honest. I think you're making this sound better than it is, because I fucking love RoboCop and I love Gundam, and I don't think that this is going to be like the best RoboCop. Does anybody say I buy that for $1?
No.
Is there any
that's the thing is
guy,
it's got but from what I mean the basicness of the plot. Like is what I mean, and some. Somebody else brought up the Bourne Identity for some reason.
So it's like the Joel Kinnaman Gundam or Joel Kinnaman RoboCop mixed
Gundam.
with
I'd watch that.
Gundam Wing. Is that what you're telling me?
No, well, not Gundam Wing, because people in Gundam Wing, there's more black and white in Gundam Wing.
Okay.
No, because what it is that they treat Master Chief more like the way RoboCop is at the beginning of RoboCop, where he's more of a robotic person who has no emotions and just follows whatever is told.
Okay.
Instead of the way he's in the game, where he's more of just like he's a soldier who just happens to be a super soldier kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he has emotions and all that stuff, and he'll follow orders, but he's more caring about people in the games, or like he'll see somebody, he's like, oh, I'll have to save this person kind of thing. Whereas TV show Master Chief in the beginning of the show, he's just like, I don't give a fuck about any of this.
Yeah. I'm kind of
like no memories apparently.
I'm kind of flabbergasted that they would even try to make a Halo TV show, because I feel like even if they did it 100% right, nobody would like it anyway. Like that, there's never going to be a win for Halo after all this time. Like
that's the thing. It's been so long that I feel like it might be too late to make a show like this. And I don't mean that in the fact that I think Halo is lost. I don't think it's in the way that I don't think Halo is good anymore. I still think Halo is great, but the peak of Halo passed a long time ago. Yeah. The peak of Halo was Halo 3 and Reach. Like once that hit, it just started going down from there, from 4.
No, Michael, come on. Everybody knows that Halo Wars was like the real peak of Halo. That was where the true fans were.
I already forgot when Wars came out. It had to have been before Reach. No, it was after Reach. I can't remember. But the issue is, like I said, is that there's a lot of changes to it.
Sure.
There's a lot of, like I said, Master Chief is different in his characterization. Even the UNSC is very much, like I said, the way the Federation is in Gundam, where they're like we're the good guys, but also fuck people kind of thing. It's like, oh, you guys are, yeah. And there's like some random stuff that got introduced that I'm like, I don't know what that is. If it's a book thing, I just don't know what it is, kind of thing. And then, as well as Master Chief takes his helmet off at the end, towards the end of the episode, and then it just stays off for the rest of that part of the episode.
Okay.
Which is strange, only because it's like, now there's a disconnect, because I'm like staring at the actor in his face now, and I'm just like, well, this is just weird to me.
Master Chief doesn't have a face.
Exactly.
He's got a visor. God damn it.
Master Chief isn't a person. No, yeah. So I don't know where they're going with it when it comes to that, because like I said,
is it Peter Weller when he takes off the?
No.
Oh man.
It's you remember? Actually, this is the funniest thing. How I remember this actor. Did you watch the It's Always Sunny Christmas special?
Uh-huh.
You remember the guy they stole the robot from, and they tried to give him the shirt with the Santa blood on it?
Yes.
That's the actor who plays Master Chief.
Okay.
So
random pull. Okay.
So it turns out he got his life back together after Max stole the robot, and he became Master Chief.
All right.
So good for that guy.
Well,
he's also in that Gerald Butler film, but I forgot the name of that one.
Gamer?
No, it was a fairly recent one.
White
Gerald
House
Butler plays
Down?
a cop, and I forgot, it's something in Thieves. I don't remember.
Okay.
It was okay, but he plays one other character in that too. But he's one of those guys. If you see his face, you're like, I kind of know who that is.
Okay.
But
well,
that's what I've done.
I'm gonna watch it at some point. I don't know when. I don't know. I'm just so tired. I need to sleep. But not yet. Not yet. I can sleep when I'm dead.
You should watch Barry still. I'm just saying. The rest of you, audience, watch Barry. The new season starts soon.
Well, speaking of all the shit that Michael likes, I decided to put front and center, first thing on the list. There's Ghostbusters Game. There's new Ghostbusters Game. This is Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. This is being made by Ilphonic, and it is another 4v1 asymmetric multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Where 4 people play as Ghostbusters and 1 person can play as the different ghosts. The ghost has to like haunt the location, and then everybody else has to go catch them. Okay, so I was curious about this. What do you think about this? Because I feel like the Friday the 13th game, I can't tell, but it seems like the Friday the 13th game got fucked by all the weird politics, copyright holder stuff that happened with that, where they couldn't do what they wanted. But the Predator game didn't have that problem, and I feel like that game kind of just faded away. And I kind of like that game. It's just I wasn't interested in playing a 4v1 multiplayer game. So do you think that this is going to have legs just based on the Ghostbustin'? Like, is that the franchise that they need to have something that doesn't just, like, I don't know, the internet liked it for a week and then something new came out and it was like, it's fucking Toy Story where it's like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Well, here's the thing about Ghostbuster fans is they're rabid. They're fucking rabid as hell.
Okay, so I didn't want to bring that up, but I was like, when did Ghostbusters become this thing that people are just like, I'd fucking die. I'd die for Ghostbusters. I love it so much. It is my favorite thing that's ever happened in the history of all mankind.
I can't pinpoint the exact moment that happened. I can pinpoint it when it happened for me. I was very young, and I watched Ghostbusters 2 a lot.
Okay.
And I was a big fan of that. And then the real Ghostbusters I was a big fan of, as well as, the first movie, of course.
Sure.
And I loved the idea of a bunch of schlubby guys doing stuff like saving the world with their friends, kind of thing. And I thought there was something really fascinating about that. The rest of the world apparently also thought that. But like I said, they're so incredibly rabid that when the Ghostbusters video game came out in 2008, they were still playing the online mode for that until before they shut it down, like maybe a couple years ago.
Okay.
Like because that's the thing, is that people just want anything Ghostbusters related.
Okay.
Because it's a weird franchise in that way, where it's like it's a franchise, but we also get like jack shit a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like we had the comics which I liked a lot, but even then those slowed down quite a bit. And then we got the 2016 movie, and they tried to bring a bunch of stuff back.
That was a really bad game that came out.
Yeah,
and
that game was really, really bad, so no one bought it.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who fucking bought it outside of you who had to do it for a video.
I did.
And then there was a bunch of mobile games.
Right.
There was a mobile game that was a lot like Pokemon Go before Pokemon Go was a thing. Where it was an AR,
yeah.
You used a wand to catch ghosts depending on where you were, kind of thing.
That's Harry Potter.
And then they tried it again after the Harry Potter one, to be honest. If I remember correctly, that failed apparently. And then they had this other thing. Like they've tried doing Ghostbusters related things, but they always half-ass them usually.
Yeah,
because they just figure people give them their money, which they have each fucking time. So this has the possibility to have legs, but it all depends on if it's worth playing in any way. Because a lot of people just want to be Ghostbusters and catch ghosts, and I don't see people jumping at the idea of being the ghost. Yeah, the way they did the Predator thing or even the Jason thing.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem with these asynchronous multiplayer games that are based on like a property, is that there's always one thing that the people want to be, and then there's the other thing. Where it's like nobody wanted to be the fucking Arnold Schwarzeneggers, everybody wanted to be the Predator, nobody wanted to be the campers, everyone wanted to be Jason, and now it's like everyone wants to be Ghostbusters, no one wants to be Slimer because Slimer sucks and he's lame. They turned him into fucking Orko in that cartoon.
They kind of did.
Anyway, okay, so here's the thing. It looks good. Like the graphics look very good in this trailer. They kind of got like a nice kind of almost a Fortnite-y style to them.
Yeah, when you see Winston, he has this sort of cartoony look to him.
Yeah.
So, and Ray looks a little more realistic than Winston for some reason.
Yeah. So apparently, like what Ray is like he's the one that does like the ghost stuff. And
yeah,
then,
he gives you your missions apparently.
Winston does the kind of Ghostbuster stuff. But then the other thing is apparently you're going to be able to like inhabit stuff like prop hunt. Do you know prop hunt?
Yeah. So there's a 5-minute gameplay video from the ghost side that I found.
Oh, okay.
I think yesterday or something. I forgot who posted it. So I watched that, and it's a lot of everything the ghost has to do. It showed everything they do. So there's a bunch of civilians in the area apparently. So you have to scare off all the civilians. You have to, and then you have to just keep doing certain things to cause the area to be considered more haunted. Like there's a meter.
Yeah.
And once it reaches a certain point, the ghost wins. And the Ghostbusters have to catch the ghost, of course. And so they have options to escape being captured. And for instance, like there's a point when in the video, the 5-minute video, he's getting shot by all 4 of them, and there's a button that says hit square a bunch of times to like resist. But the more people who are hitting them with the neutrino wand, the harder it is for him to escape from it. Okay. And then there's like an option that like I guess there's these rifts in the area too, that if there's enough of them, you can use them to escape being caught instead. Right. There's just a lot of things like that. And yeah, there's a lot of possession stuff. You can also like look at something and be like, that's haunted now, and then it'll be like a chair floating or something, and then you can pretend to be a chair. Okay. Stuff like that. And I was like, this looks like it would be a lot more fun than I thought it would be from the ghost side. Yeah. But because you can also like you can go through people to slime them, to slow them down,
like
and stuff.
stuns them and stuff.
And I was like, honestly, it looks a lot more fun from the ghost side than I thought it would be. Right. So depending really on how that is, this may actually turn out to be. I think it may actually get some legs this time around. Okay. It seems like something that would be fun to for like streamers, right? Oh, absolutely. And also, there's a shit ton of people in my friends list who are very excited to play this with me. Well, there you go. Also, it's all cross-platform. Oh yeah. I mean, at this point, so I'm pretty excited about that. So anybody I know is going to be able to play this with me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks like a pretty well produced game, and Elphonic has been pretty good at making games recently. So hey, I guess the thing is, it's been so long since I've had to have the perspective of just like a regular old guy who maybe I'll play a game, maybe I won't. It's like, well, of course we're gonna fucking play this, like of course, but I'm just curious because again, we're gonna go back to a common talking point on Rage Select of like outside of Dead by Daylight,
is there another 4v1 asynchronous multiplayer game that has actually worked and stayed on and been a success? Because
Friday the 13th one actually lasted a while.
Yeah.
To be honest, like a lot of streamers played that for a long time.
Okay.
But the issue again came down to nothing was coming out from it.
Right.
And the issue with the Predator one was that the Predator was really easy to kill.
Yeah.
And so people didn't want to do that either. Whereas with Ghostbusters, depending on, like I said, depends on how much fun it can be and what the Ghostbusters have to do. Because I haven't seen what the Ghostbusters have to do besides catch the ghost. Mm-hmm. Because maybe there are smaller ghosts that you can catch or something throughout it. I don't know.
Well, I was reading a description of it that talked about how on the Ghostbuster side, it's like one person has to man the trap, and like you'll have one person that has the PKE meter to kind of like find the ghost and stuff. And so it's less about just like, I don't know, running around in a circle in the level until you find the ghost and then everybody zaps it and you're done. That it's like a little bit more involved than that to give everybody kind of their own sense of something to do. So
yeah, I was really curious about that because I know there's different classes in the Predator one or whatever.
Yeah,
it was actually who made the Aliens one?
That's a good question. Aliens Fire Team.
Yeah, because I feel like that was one that.
The hell?
I feel like that one didn't get as much legs as I thought it would.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Is that a good?
It just sort of disappeared. Yeah, that's the thing. It just sort of disappeared.
That was Cold Iron Studios.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe Ghostbusters will. Maybe it'll win, or maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. The same could also be said for apparently there's a new Witcher game that is in development. So
that's interesting.
CD Projekt Red basically teased a new Witcher, and all they did was put up it's like a picture of like what is it, like a dog like medallion, kind of like the one that Geralt wears, in the snow, and it says The Witcher, and it says a new saga begins, and that's kind of it. The only other thing that was really announced was that it's going to be using the Unreal Engine 5 instead of the custom engine that they made for Cyberpunk. So hopefully that will keep some of the bug fuckery to a minimum, right? Because they won't have their own custom engine that they have to deal with.
I know the rumors are that it's not going to be a game about Geralt either. So
yes, I think. Well, so I think that I saw some stuff that said this is not going to be The Witcher 4. Basically,
okay,
it's going to be just kind of a spin-off Witcher game, which
it's going to be young Geralts.
Well, there's also there's a bunch
to learn the power of friendship.
There's a bunch of other Witchers, Michael. You know this.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop them from doing shit like that. You saw what happened to Splinter Cell.
He's not the only one. Yeah, like every time they try to make a Hitman game, they're like, "Oh, you're an up-and-coming recruit in the corporation," and it's like, "No, I don't know. Give me the bald guy.
I don't want that.
I don't want that." So I don't know. I think this is going to be really strange because I don't feel like a lot of the stuff that CD Projekt Red has done outside of the main Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. Remember, there was Thronebreaker and Gwent, and like there were other things that they've made. Well, mostly those two, but there are other things they've made. But I feel like none of those have caught on the way that Witcher 3 did, or
Gwent got some legs for a bit,
a little bit, because they were also making another. Well, maybe that's a good thing because apparently the director of the Gwent game, Jason Slama, is the guy that's setting up the new Witcher game. So
it's all just Gwent.
It's all Gwent. All Gwent all the time.
All the time, exactly.
I mean, I don't know. The world of The Witcher seems like
for new Gwent cards only.
the world of The Witcher seems like it's big enough and interesting enough that you could have some other
easily
adventures, right?
Absolutely.
I guess it's just like the real question is, will the fan base
will they like Raiden is what you're saying?
Will they allow anything but Geralt? Will they allow anything but fucking Henry Cavill in their video game?
What if it's just Henry Cavill?
It's just a Henry Cavill
just
game.
use Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
They don't even change his name. It's just it's just straight up Henry Cavill.
Yeah. We also found out that it's not going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive.
Yeah, because of the Unreal Engine thing, so people were worried about that.
Right. I think that, I don't know, I'm just so far past that. Like,
people are really petty about that.
I mean, I know that people still care.
I get why, but it's still kind of weird to me.
They're like, I don't want to install another thing, and it's like, motherfucker, between my VPN and my password manager and Steam and Ubisoft and EA and fucking Chrome and like, you gotta install stuff on the PC.
That's true.
Like, you gotta install apps on your PC. Like, that just I don't understand what the big fucking deal is. Like, I want everything to be in the same place. Great. You know what you could do is you could buy the game on the Epic Game Store and then just like wait for it to go on sale on Steam when it eventually comes to Steam, and then eventually you get to a winter sale and it's $4 on Steam, and then you could just buy it there too.
That's
like,
true.
I mean, I get the preference,
guys.
But I'm very tired and salty today. I get the preferences that you don't want to have your game library split between two things. But Michael, sometimes in life, you don't get what you fucking want.
That's true.
Like I would rather there not be microtransactions in any video games, but guess what? I don't get that. So
just put on your AirPods and listen to Frank Sinatra and fight chaos, and you'll be fine.
I want that game to be good. I want Strangers in Paradise to not be ugly as shit.
It's
like,
pretty ugly.
I would like Ubisoft to not have the Uplay overlay in any video game. I didn't like games for Windows Live when that was a thing.
That was a terrible fucking thing.
I played all of the Fallout 3 DLCs on the PC, and guess what? You had to like log in and put the key. You had to like buy it on Steam, and then when you bought it on Steam, it would be in your library, but you had to find the key in the Steam information and then put that into Games for Windows Live and activate it. It was fucking horrible. Spy one.
Yeah, it was like a launcher, but it had like a spy on it. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, like the multiplayer one. It was like Game Planet or whatever.
Weird like generic ass thing that was also in a lot of things that you had to install for a bit.
Yeah. Sorry, I mean, like, hey man, I get it. Like, you know, if we could all snap our fingers and make it the same way, it's just like this person's tweet that they have on this story where it's just like Epic Game Store exclusive at launch equals no interest from me whatsoever. It's just like, if I know anything after 9 years of Rage Select and fucking a billion hours of video games, it's like, no, you are a liar. If you like The Witcher and it only came out of the Epic Game Store, you would buy it on the fucking Epic Game Store.
They absolutely would. They would begrudgingly do it.
Every time that gamers say they're not going to do it, they do it. Cyberpunk 2077 was broken and they offered unlimited refunds and people didn't even refund it. There was like 5% uptick in the actual refunds that people processed.
Which is fucking crazy.
Which is insane. Sony allowed $60 refunds for Cyberpunk 2077 and people did not take them up on it. Like, you could always have just bought it again if it turned out. It'd probably be cheaper, if not free at some point. Like,
for $10 for an Xbox.
You could have made money by refunding Cyberpunk 2077 for $60 and then buying it at Christmas when it's fucking $25 on the sale, right?
People couldn't give that shit away for a while.
So, anywho, sorry. I'm now giving myself a headache, which is also going to be very good for everybody. So yeah, we found that out. We also found out that the new game director, what's his face? I just said his name. This Jason Slama guy wrote on Twitter that there's going to be no crunch on the new Witcher game, Michael.
It's all Cocoa Puffs from now on.
No crunch.
Told Captain Crunch, get the fuck out of here.
Which is, I don't know if you remember this, which is exactly what they said about Cyberpunk 2077.
That's exactly what they said.
Right up until the point where they started to run into trouble, and then they were like, well, you know, we got a December launch date, so...
It's not crunch, Jeff. It's just working really hard without breaks.
That's right. It's
completely different.
I'm not telling you that you have to come in, but, you know, if you don't, then...
no Captain Crunch for you. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Only the bests for Oops All Berries.
I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to stay with this, but it seems like the minute that the rubber hits the road and a game company comes to a decision where they have to be like, but we'll lose money if we don't crunch, that it's like, well, guess what, everybody? That was a nice thing to say. So
they're trying to respec without crunch.
Yes. Let's see. We also got the news that Cyberpunk 2077 got a big patch, like a 25 gig patch this week. This is nothing new. It's mostly just fixing bugs. So There were a bunch of different bugs with, well, the game is just fucking full of bugs, right? So
many bugs.
There's like one wall where if you jump on it or you touch it or something, you just fucking die immediately.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was like one thing where in traffic, like cars were spawning inside of the traffic and just causing everything to fuck up. That's been fixed. The whole change list for this patch is like,
this game's like a year old now.
Yeah, it's just bug fixes at this point. Like, it's nothing new. There's no new content. There's no new interesting. The Stadia version apparently has more. Has gotten like one of the updates to make the pedestrians act better, and
so ridiculous.
Just like more of them. So I'm still gonna go with like wait. Just continue to wait. The longer you wait, the better. The cheaper the game will be, the better it'll be when you finally get around to it. So,
it's so crazy.
I'll tell you what, though. We're just going back and forth between Cyberpunk and The Witcher because The Witcher 3 got a bit of an update this week where somebody finally found what they think is the last secret in The Witcher 3. So, in The Witcher 3. The expansion, Blood and Wine, there is a mission where there's a lady that's been cursed, and she's going to die. And you have the option of taking the curse and putting it on somebody else or curing the curse. But if you do that, it gives her the lifespan of a bird.
Oh, my God.
Which is 7 years. They spell it out. They say 7 years. This actually came out 7 years ago, but there was somebody who was messing around with this stuff online who decided to automate the process of doing that quest, going to where that lady shows up in the world, and then having Geralt like sit down and meditate, going through days for 7 years. And when you do that, at the end of 7 years, apparently you see her character walking around, and then she just is like, it just falls down on the ground and dies.
That's amazing. That's so fucking insane.
Yeah. Nobody ever said The Witcher 3 was bad.
No.
So apparently that same guy then later on, like, he went and just continued to accelerate time forward, and eventually the game just completely fucking goes berserk, and like the color shaders are all wrong, and the lights turn into these weird big globes all over the map.
That's amazing.
It's like, I don't know, is this the end of time, or what the fuck is happening, or is it just the game engine doesn't know what the hell to do because you fucking broke everything?
Yeah, I did not expect you to play for 7 years straight.
Well, no, this isn't even 7 years. This is like way past that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, once it gets past that point, it's like, well, now what? It starts freaking out.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this still found some stuff. Still found some new stuff in The Witcher 3.
This is about 10 years is when it starts hitting. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. From there, I don't know. I had this.
I saw this actually.
This is just a fun thing. If you ever want to see something really fun, there's this artist called Ultimate Ink Trash that does like retro game box art. So like they have a Cyberpunk 2000, but it's like it looks like a TurboGrafx game, or like an old they've got one for Dark Souls that makes it look like a Famicom game. They actually have a lot of these that are really fun.
I like the Hades one.
The Hades one is pretty good.
Because I saw these on Reddit.
Yeah,
and he mentions that some of the faces are based on actors. So the Hades one is based on Charlie Sheen.
Oh, I can see that. Well, because Bill and Ted are in the background of the CD of the Cyberpunk one. They got one for Rocket League and Far Cry 3.
I forgot I think he said that one was Martin Sheen.
Okay.
If I remember correctly for the Far Cry 3 one.
The Fall Guys one was pretty funny.
The Fall Guys one's pretty good.
Because it's just a bunch of people. It's like a bunch of people. It's like the Fall Guys kind of goofy guys, but they've got like people's faces in them.
Yeah, realistic faces.
I miss old box art.
Old box arts are awesome.
Yeah.
I love the Among Us one a lot.
Resident Evil 7, that is obviously Bruce Campbell in the Resident Evil 7 one. So, yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And a good transition from Cyberpunk to From Software, because we're talking about Elden Ring.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yep. Last week we talked about the unholy amount of copies that Elden Ring has sold.
It's sold so much, guys. I bought a copy of Elden Ring.
I don't understand
even when I was like, maybe not, I don't know, and then I bought it, and I've been at fucking like 30 hours.
Yep. So last week in Elden Ring, some people found a wall that opens if you hit it like 50 times. This is in the Volcano Mansion or Volcano Manor. Normally hidden walls in Souls games, it's like, you hit them once and then they go away. This is probably a bug. Like either like there used to be a wall there and they just kind of bricked it up, and then the thing they put there, they just made it an illusory wall, but they gave it like a shitload of hit points. So you're not supposed to find it. That's the thing I've heard, because it doesn't really even go that far into the game. But the big thing is that it also doesn't disappear the same way that illusory walls normally disappear. It doesn't have the same audio cue or anything like that. But it has put forth the horrible prospect of like, well, does this mean that I need to go hit every wall in the game 50 times to see if there's another one somewhere?
Yeah, that's the thought process a lot of people have had.
And like, if that happens, because right now, I don't know if your experience has been similar. You'll have you'll see the two messages on the ground.
Yeah.
One of them that's like, oh, here's an illusory wall, and the other one that says liar ahead.
I've seen quite a few of those, actually.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of times the one that says that there's a wall there has been downvoted so much it's gone away, and so there's just a thing in the game that says liar ahead. You're like, I don't know. Whenever I saw one of those, I always went up and hit the wall that it was next to.
My favorite part was when this came out. Oh, and I saw this on Reddit myself. One of the comments are like, "What if none of them were lying?"
And then you have to hit everyone 50 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's another wall. Actually, there's a second one that people have found. So I don't know, man. Who knows? Like, I honestly feel like this is just leftover code from something previously, but like,
yeah, there probably was like originally just a doorway there, and then they're like, well, fuck, I can't just make it go away, so they just put a wall that has health on it.
Yeah. And then never expected any crazy person on the internet to smash every wall in Elden Ring a million times until they found one that they weren't supposed to.
That's the best thing about gamers, man.
Yeah,
because people are fucking crazy.
No, I was reminded when Elden Ring came out that it was like, oh, right, I'm going to let all of you on the internet do the hard work for me. I'm just going to look up how to beat Rodriguez's quest. I don't want to like go through the steps. I just want to know what to do.
I love the internet for that insane shit. Like, no matter how long that Easter egg is going to be there, somebody's going to find it.
Yep. I mean, the guy fucking fast forwarded The Witcher for 7 years to figure out if it worked or not.
We beat the end by fast forwarding our PS2s.
Oh, that's true.
About like a week or two.
That's true. We also have seen the first PC Elden Ring mod to make the game easier. This is on Nexus Mods, and apparently it reduces the damage you take by 50%. You get an extra 25% of output damage, and you get 10x the runes. This was actually, they made something very similar for Sekiro, which I feel like needed it. I wanted to ask you this, Michael, because you're a new player that's playing the game, and I kind of wanted to ask the audience too, but like, okay, I don't think Elden Ring is all that hard. Like, it is hard, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not as brutally difficult as like Sekiro or Dark Souls 3 was.
I don't think it's brutally difficult. It's just there's a lot of enemies that kill you in a lot of bullshitty ways. I feel is the main thing.
Like what?
Well, because there's a lot of stun locks that are just like hard to get out of by just the smallest taps. And so you end up just like stuck on the ground. You're like, well, get the fuck up, and then the dude just walks up to you and like slams you on the ground. Like, there needs to be better ways of like getting up, I feel, more than damage itself. And there's, because I'm not the only one who thinks that. I've seen plenty of videos where people are like, look, I love this game and I beat this game like 1,000 times, but there's too many enemies that can kill you in like one hit for like no reason.
So, okay, this is very weird to me. I was just going a brief tangent here because I feel like there was somebody on our Discord server that was kind of complaining about the same thing, about like getting killed in one hit. And what I'm curious is, so I want to ask you this, and this is a judgment-free, Elden Ring judgment-free zone. How many points have you put into vitality?
A lot, actually.
Yeah,
it's my second highest next to my strength stat.
Because I didn't ever get killed in like one hit, and I mean, like,
well, that's the thing is, I'm not one of those people who got killed in one hit per se. If I was, it's because I was clearly in an area I wasn't supposed to be in yet.
Sure,
but when I say bullshitty ones, it's usually like I walk into an area and there's an enemy that's like, oh, that thing is usually pretty weak. But then there's like one more of them, and end up just getting essentially pinballed through all three of them.
Is it the dogs? Is it just the dogs?
It wasn't the dogs. It's happened to me. It's happened to me with knights. It's happened to me with the rats. The dogs have happened to me once. and having me with one other enemy type, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
But every time it happens, it's always just like, well, fuck you kind of thing, because I'm just more annoyed because it's like I shouldn't have died there only because I got stun locked. And then or there's times where like I'm about to heal and an enemy will just not stop fucking following me with an attack that goes way too far.
Yeah.
Like it's stuff that I'm just like, well, there just needs to be a little tweaking. Like I'm not saying like make them all real easy. I'm like, I feel like there's one or two enemies that like just like fucking chill, bro, kind of thing.
Okay.
Like and I know that's part of its charm for a lot of a lot of those fans, but like there's plenty of times where I'm like, I'm just trying to find something, and I don't feel like getting attacked by a random knight who has electricity attached to their fucking sword, and I'm just fucking trying to get through here.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I mean, like the thing is, I'm interested to hear somebody else's perspective, because I feel like when Elden Ring first came out, that there was very much this narrative that was out that was like, I love this game, but it's the hardest From Software game yet. And I'm just like, I do not think that is true.
That's not true.
Like,
at all.
I do not think that is true. Like, I think that there are plenty of ways to do damage mitigation, and that a lot of it just comes from the fact that, you know what I feel that it might be is the fact that the game doesn't tell you what level you should be to be in an area, and like it's really easy to wander into a place where you are underleveled, right? Like where you should have 15 more levels before you come to this area.
Actually, there's
but
one
nothing
enemy,
is stopping you from doing this.
There's one enemy that's killed me in one hit, but it was a boss, and I already told you about them, which was the second boss.
Oh, when she did the laser.
When she did the laser.
Yeah.
But that's more because I wasn't paying attention.
Right. I mean, and like I was having trouble with a few bosses that were in the later game, but then I like started specking for elemental protection and certain types of, like switching up my talisman, changing up my shield configuration. Like, I guess the thing is that I'm curious. I want to know if it's because now that I'm like further into the game, I guess I feel that it's like very, very level specific, right?
Yeah.
Like once you're 10 levels over, everything is a cakewalk in that area. Like when you first come into that area, it's really difficult. And then if you get like, a few levels under your belt, all the areas start to become less and less difficult just as time goes on.
There's actually a Donkey. He's a very popular YouTuber.
Yeah.
He just came out with an Elden Ring video where that is one of his only. That's literally his only complaint. Was the how easy it is to die in certain enemies.
Okay.
That was his only complaint that he mentioned. At least that I remember.
Okay.
But yeah,
I mean,
it's not unheard of. But I kind of get where they're coming from. But at the same time, I myself, like I said, haven't 100% ran into it.
Yeah.
But I get why a lot of people will think that, because there are plenty of times I walked into an area where I did die fucking immediately, but it always came down to I'm like, I am not supposed to be here.
Right.
Like when I told you I ended up in Khaled on accident.
Right.
When I found the dragon burnt ruins.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yep.
That one thing, like I walked into an area and then something walked up to me and tapped me and I just fucking exploded.
Sure.
I'm like, nope, I'm definitely not supposed to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, like a lot of it is, I wonder, because a lot of it is, there's no way for me to know whether it's like, well, this doesn't seem like it's all that hard. And it's like, right, because you've been playing fucking Souls games like a maniac for 15 years.
I feel like you should ask that to Matt.
Yeah.
And see what Matt says.
Yeah.
Because Matt definitely is, he's much more, not amateur is the word I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? Newbie?
Inexperienced?
Yeah, inexperienced, I think would make the most sense for something like that.
I also, but then the other side, the third side of the coin, is I often wonder how much this is just shock reacting to a game that doesn't adjust difficulty for your level. Because like most games will nudge difficulty to give you
See, I'm cool with it not doing that, because I've had enough of Sting when Devil May Cry 3 did that to me.
Right.
I'm still bummed out when that happened to me. When you die enough times, like you unlocked easy mode, you dumb motherfucker. I'm like, fuck you, game.
No, but there's a lot of RPGs that will just kind of like generally adjust. Like, I don't remember. Maybe this is the case. Maybe it isn't. But like in Horizon Zero Dawn, when I was playing that, I just decided at one point I'm just going to go the fuck over there, and like, I didn't run into anything that was like going to kill me in one shot, or just like from the other side of the map, I just get plastered up against a thing. I don't know. I'm curious, because I get this kind of thing for Sekiro, but for Elden Ring, it's like, I don't know, man, just go do some mini dungeons and like get 8 more levels and put more points into vitality, and then you can get fucking chewed up and spit out, and then like get back up and chug a potion and hit him with the sword.
Some people just don't want to do that, is the thing.
I guess, but then if that's the case, it's like, what the fuck are you playing Elden Ring?
Well, again, you have to remember this sold like 12 million copies. So there's now way more people who are like that than there's ever been playing this game.
Which again is very weird to me, to be like, after all the years of people getting scared off of the Soulsborne franchise by the whole like, it's so hard, I don't want to play it, and then Elden Ring comes out and apparently everybody is just like, well, I know that this company has a reputation for making super fucking hard games that are unfair and totally like wipe the floor with your ass, but I got a good feeling about this one. This is going to be the different one.
See, Jeff, those people only played Metal Wolf Chaos, and they're like, "Oh, the President game. I can play this.
Okay,
maybe Richard will show up, and I'll have to fight him."
Okay,
so yeah.
I mean, I found a shield. I found the broken shield that literally like it blocks 100%.
I saw that shield, guys. It's fucking crazy.
It blocks 100% of physical, and if you have the right talismans on, you don't take any stamina damage. Like, you can literally just stand there and dragons will like be punching you in the face, and your stamina meter doesn't go down and your health meter doesn't go down, and you're just like, yeah, I should get around to hitting you at some point. So
finally killed a dragon too. That was fun.
There you go. Let's see. All right. Important Elden Ring news. Okay.
What the fuck?
So I don't know how many people know this, but there is a character named Fia, the deathbed companion, that is in Elden Ring. It's this lady. She gives you a hug. Everybody knows that. So the first thing that people did was unhook the camera and go zoom up into her crotch.
Sounds about right.
And it turns out that she's wearing this really fancy underwear. And then they combed the code for it, and they found the code for the underwear.
Oh my God.
It's called Deathbed Smalls. It is panties. It's basically panties. And then through mods, people found that they could spawn it. They could put it on. It's leg armor, and but apparently From Software cut it out of the game. But you can totally fucking put it on your character and run around.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's ridiculous. I don't actually understand why they took it out of the game personally.
It's probably because they didn't have a way of you getting it, I guess. They probably just never came up with a quest for it.
You can get Fia's outfit. I mean, for anybody in the game, you can kill them and get their clothes, right? So, like, you can get the robe that she's wearing, but when you get it, you don't get the underwears.
I guess I don't know. Then I don't know on that one.
But it's just a thong. It's just this weird thong.
Maybe because it's only leg armor. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't figure out a way of making it under it or something.
I mean, I want to see the horrible invasion builds that get made that focus on wearing the panties.
Oh, they're going to make them. oh yes. Once they know how to mod it, they're going to make it.
Yeah.
They're not going to run into them in PC, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird, but it's there. Also, I don't know. Like, the first thing I felt like I saw in the comment section of this Kotaku article where they talked about this, where people were like, isn't it kind of creepy that the first thing that the gamers did was just run up into her crotch? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but I'm not surprised at this point. Like,
no, I'm not surprised the slightest.
Of course, that's the first.
It's either that or they draw a dick. It's one of the two things.
Right. So yeah. Let's see. Last week we had a thing where some Elden Ring players were having problems getting online.
This actually happened to me yesterday, actually.
Oh, yeah. After the PS5 and PS4 update that caused some networking problems. So Elden Ring, Grand Theft Auto, a few other online games. I think Gran Turismo was in there. No one was able to get online for, it was like a day, right?
It took me a few tries, but I was able to get online.
Okay.
But at least in the game. But
yeah.
It was weird.
It was a big thing. So PlayStation update came out. And it just had a bunch of kind of like, I don't know, question mark, like can't get online for anything.
I had to update my controllers this morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot that's a thing now.
Yeah, that's a thing. I have 2 of them, so.
Yeah. The software update added some new stuff. Mono headphone audio, joining parties, some UI tweaks. Nothing big, but apparently it's just one of those things that just like, broke everything.
Yeah.
Did the update and it broke everything. And then you got to be like, oh shit, it broke everything. Everybody get in here. Everybody come in here. We got to figure out what the fuck just happened.
Everything's on fire, guys. Shit, son.
But the big thing that happened was that I mentioned Gran Turismo, but this offlinedness really put forward how much Gran Turismo 7 requires you to be online to play it. Like when you were down, the only playable elements were music rally, world circuits, and single player races against the AI. But like a lot of the unlocks wouldn't work. A lot of the because they're doing a lot of the switching out the daily updates. The cars are in a lot of ways controlled by some of the online stuff. So it really reduced the functionality of what ostensibly should be a single player game. I know that it's 2022 and it's kind of weird that we're still having this conversation, but I just don't feel like corporations have made a good enough argument for why the fuck everything needs to be online all the time, and gamers have consistently expressed that their preference is I do not want to have to be online all the time in case, I don't know, the servers go down and then you can't fucking play the game that you spent $60 on.
Because the thing about that is that these servers will eventually go down anyways.
Yeah.
There's no way Gran Turismo 7 servers will
be online forever
for another fucking 200 years or some shit.
Yes,
kind of thing. These games are going to stop working one day, and people are going to be upset about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of games that already had that issue.
Yes, but that was actually not the only problem last week with Gran Turismo 7, because I gotta remember, Michael, you were on the podcast, right? We talked about the real world money transactions in Gran Turismo 7,
and how we were happy with how they apparently originally had it,
and how they were really high. It could cost you $100 to buy a very expensive car if you used the real money. And I was like, or you could just play the fucking video game. You could race in the video game in order to get enough money to buy the car. And people in the comments, they were like, yeah, if you do the late game races, you just grind on this one race for a day, and then you'll have enough money to buy the fucking crazy Lamborghini Countach or whatever that you want. Well, apparently they did an update that lowered a lot of the
so stupid
the payouts for a lot of the races that players were grinding to get the credits to buy the cars that they want to play the game. This was not received well.
It shouldn't, as they should have expected.
Yes. Gran Turismo 7 is now the lowest rated game on Metacritic in the user score. So if you look at the Metacritic user score for Gran Turismo 7, it's now I don't even know what it is now, but I know the last time I looked at it, it was 2.3 or something like that.
Sounds right,
it was really, really low, which it's 1.5
Oh my
now.
God, it's even lower.
Holy shit. Overwhelming dislike based on 8,570 ratings.
Man, Gran Turismo, you've fallen hard, guys.
Yeah. Well, what's fucked up is that I would think that they would want to tread carefully, because the last game that they had, people didn't like it because of all the changes that they made. And they were like, it's a return to form. It's just like your old Gran Turismo that you used to know and love so much, just like you used to love it. It's yeah, but they're okay. But then the weird thing here is
so dumb.
The Polyphony Digital CEO and the series producer put out this blog post that talks about how first they apologized for having for the server outage, but then there's this very specific thing. There's this very specific thing that he writes in response to the microtransaction thing that I want to read, where he says, in Gran Turismo 7, I would like to have users enjoy lots of cars and races even without microtransactions. At the same time, the pricing of cars is an important element that conveys their value and rarity, so I do think it's important for that to be linked with the real-world prices. I want to make Gran Turismo 7 a game in which you can enjoy a variety of cars, lots of different ways, and if possible, would like to try to avoid a situation where a player must mechanically keep replaying certain events over and over again. You can't have both.
No.
You cannot fucking have both.
That's not how
okay?
It works. It's not how any of this works.
There is not a way to do this. You can't square this fucking circle. This is a known quantity. If you want to level up, you've got to grind. Or you could make a game where you don't have to grind to level up, but if you do that, then people don't get the same sense of accomplishment for working towards something and then eventually getting it. Doing something that they don't want to do for a long time in order to get something, to get a reward.
Well, the issue with it I have is the last sentence that you missed, which is, we will in time let you know the update plans for additional content, additional race events, and additional features that will constructively resolve this, because that is some nonsense.
Yeah.
That's a nonsense sentence.
It pains me that I can't explain the details regarding this at the moment, but we plan on continuing to revise GT7 so that as many players as possible can enjoy the game. We would really appreciate it if everyone could watch over the growth of Gran Turismo 7 from a somewhat longer-term point of view.
That is a nonsense sentence.
Are you asking racing game fans to be reasonable? I'm sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So
no one's gonna want your game now. You understand this, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's a terrible fucking statement.
The other thing is that we're living in a world where there's so many really good games that come out that it's just like, well, fuck you. I'm going to go play Forza Horizon on my PC. And
I'm just going to not do this.
Yeah. Like, there is I don't think people are going to have, like, infinity patience waiting for you to think of a solution to something that, I mean, God damn it, Michael. In Gran Turismo 1, I was grinding races for money in order to buy the cars and the upgrades that I wanted. Like, it's not an unknown. It's not a drawback or a downside. Like, I just don't understand what the fuck they think they're going to do here. Like,
well, it's the Avengers thing. It's the thing when they nerf the XP, where they're like, well, we don't want people to finish the game too fast. It's like, yeah, because there's nothing to fucking do.
Right.
Like, that's not on the gamers. That's on you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then, but as Jeff Goldblum said, Michael, life, it finds a way.
What did they do?
So what people have done, you know how you could do remote play with PlayStation games, right?
Yeah.
You can remote play them on your PC. So people have immediately now figured out how to use that system in order to AFK automate playing one race on a very simple track that can be done over and over again with a series of automated input commands.
Oh my God.
And then just leave it run overnight. And then just leave your PC to play Gran Turismo to do exactly what this guy said he doesn't want to happen, which is just do the same race over and over again. Apparently it's a little difficult to set up, but the results, if you're into Gran Turismo, is that you get to get a bunch of credits and yeah.
Nothing motivates like spite.
That is true. That is very true. So, yeah. That's Gran Turismo, everybody.
That's amazing.
Yep. Let's see. We got time for a few more of these before going to break. Sony bought Haven Studios last week. They acquired Haven Studios.
What's Haven Studios?
That's a good question. I had to look it up. Apparently, Haven Studios is a studio that was created by Jade Raymond in 2021 that is working on a game for PlayStation, has never put anything out, has never done anything yet.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Jade Raymond was a producer on Assassin's Creed. She worked for Google Stadia. She did a lot of different Ubisoft stuff.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
Because it was a big deal when she went to Google Stadia.
Yes.
And then nothing happened.
I kind of feel like, I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but I kind of feel like Jade Raymond was a thing because she was pretty. Like, we're just like, Jade Raymond. Because if you look at her track record, she was a producer on Assassin's Creed. She was an executive producer on 2 Bloodlines, Splinter Cell Blacklist, the original Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Unity, like a whole lot of real winners there.
Yeah,
you know,
stop being winners after Blacklist there, but fucking hell.
The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. Remember the Mighty Quest for Epic Loot?
No, I do not.
Oh boy!
Oh my God!
She's executive producer on that. She was the SVP Group General Manager for Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I'm not gonna lie, you sound like you made that up right on the spot.
I'm reading it directly off the Wikipedia page. But like, yeah, I mean, like, look, she was a producer at Ubisoft, and then she left, and she apparently went to Electronic Arts and worked on Battlefront 2, and then she left Electronic Arts and went to go work for Google Stadia, and then she left Google Stadia and created this new studio that hasn't done anything. She's literally I don't think she's ever been like a direct game director.
Not that I know of. Especially based on this fucking track record.
Yeah, but
that's fascinating.
She was, they like to have her come out at the Ubisoft conferences. But I mean, so far we don't really know anything. It's just they bought this studio.
Let's hope it's worth it, guys.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hate their logo.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Their logo is terrible. I hate the way it's written.
It's kind of weird, yeah.
It looks like kind of like puzzle pieces, but it's all either too round or too pointy or neither. And I don't know. Pick one.
Haven.
Go with bubbles or hard edges. So, let's see. That's not the right story. I think this might be the last. Yeah, this is the last PlayStation story we have. So apparently, Sony announced on Wednesday that in a later update that's coming out pretty soon, the PlayStation 5 is going to be getting variable refresh rate support. So if you don't know what this is, basically this is one of those like synchronization techs where if you have an HDMI 2.1 television, it helps to keep screen tearing down. And does better syncing between the output and the television.
I can't remember if my TV has this or not because it was something my brother brought up, but I don't remember if I ever went with it.
Yeah, the cool thing is that this is one of those techs that can be applied to games that like they don't have to build it into the engine. Yeah. Like it just depends on the sort of game it is, but it could be directly applied, kind of like the FPS boost on the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
The Xbox Series X has had variable refresh rate since launch. So
yes.
This is just Sony kind of catching up with it. There's no direct time on when that's going to be coming out, but it should be pretty soon. And you know what? I think we'll finish up with this was GDC was this week, so a lot of this stuff is coming out of GDC. The AMD upscaling technology, Fidelity FX Super Resolution, is getting the 2.0 version coming out.
Oh, okay.
That is potentially should be compatible with the AMD chipset that's on the Xbox.
Ooh.
So the Xbox might be getting part of this AI upres chip. I mean, right now, DLSS is only for PC video cards, right?
Yeah.
And even the Fidelity FX Super. But I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, man, I think that this is just going to be the norm, right? This is how games are going to look better going forward.
I'm cool with that, too. Like that was something we did discuss very early on when this first started happening.
Yeah.
Because it saves a lot of money and a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Although it might, they might need some tweaking. But it'll be cool.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I don't have it in the news list, but like the Oculus, the Quest, the Meta Quest, right? The Quest 2 VR headset has a new thing that they're trying to implement. That's another one of these AI tricks where like if you're running a PC game over Wi-Fi to the headset and it detects a lost frame, it will try to interpret the frame while the network catches back up.
That's interesting.
Which is kind of interesting. So, but yeah, apparently all this is coming around April. So
cool.
Yep. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we have a bunch more news. So make sure to stick around and we'll see you then. And Michael, it's time to talk about hackers.
Yes.
You talk about hackers?
We're going to talk about Angelina Jolie's and her really nice short haircut.
Not those hackers. Oh. Not those hackers. We're talking about the hackers from the movie Sneakers with Robert Redford.
Yes, let's talk about those.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd,
Fucking Sneakers is a great movie. I love that
fantastic movie. You guys should watch Sneakers.
Made me want to be a hacker when I was a kid. No, actually...
Just made me love Dan Aykroyd.
Speaking of kids and hackers, River Phoenix is in that movie.
Yes, I forgot about
that. So recently there have been a bunch of different hacks that we've seen come from Microsoft, NVIDIA, Ubisoft, Samsung, a few other places. And apparently they've been done by this one group. This was the group that did the NVIDIA hack where they wanted, what they demanded was that NVIDIA turn off the crypto limiters on their video cards.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then NVIDIA said, go fuck yourself. And then they actually put out code that could be used to create the signing signatures. So apparently, this hacking group is a 16-year-old British kid.
Of course it is.
And apparently the researchers thought that this was automated from the amount of like the sophistication of the hacks that were going on, like the social engineering and stuff. They thought this was like this really nefarious organization. It turns out it's just some fucking kid.
That usually is how that happens.
And apparently, like, the reason that they caught him was because it was like he's a very sophisticated hacker, and then like they have very bad operational security, and so just kind of kept leaving fingerprints all over the place about like who it was. So
that happens usually with the youngins.
Yep.
Youngins, they got caught.
Yep, they got caught
by that guy from Short Circuit 2. He was also in Short Circuit 1.
He was also in Hackers.
Yes, which is why I made that joke.
Except he wasn't playing an Indian stereotype in Hackers.
He should have been, though. I'm just kidding. No, he shouldn't have been.
God, no.
He definitely should not have been.
Definitely
he has apologized for it, though.
Not. Yeah. Well, he didn't do that. Nobody, like, it wasn't his idea, was it?
I don't know if it was, but he did say that he studied with some actual Indian people before he did it.
All right. Well.
He was also in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That is a can of worms I do not want to open.
It's an interesting interview if you find that interview, by the way.
So, yeah. In other news, Ubisoft at GDC was talking about a new cloud-based technology, which apparently they want to use to make their games bigger, to make bigger maps with more things on them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is called Scalar, and it's this new tech they want to use that basically can allow them to have, quote, potentially unlimited number of machines with, quote, an infinite amount of computing power, and they want to use this to make even larger worlds because, you know, Michael, Ubisoft games are not, the maps aren't already too big. They're not too big.
They need more question marks, Jeff.
They need more question marks.
They need to defeat the Riddler.
Jesus. I can't think of a worse thing to, like, in this day and age that we're at, where it's like, no, dude, you need less map, not more map. You need way less map.
Well, the issue is that we know that they're going to, if they decide to make more map, it's going to be so copy and fucking pasted that they might as well not have done it.
Yep. So yeah, it's funny. I love the headline in this Kotaku article: "New Ubisoft tech threatens world with even bigger games."
Yeah, I love how it says. So we should all be scared about this.
Yes, yes. Okay, but I've actually got good news from Ubisoft.
Go ahead.
Okay, so here's a pop quiz hot shot. What's the best game that Ubisoft has put out in the last 5 years?
Johnny 5. Sorry, no. What was the name of that game? I almost said Gods and Monsters, but that's not the name of it anymore.
Immortals.
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising, the worst named game of all time.
Well, they had to change the name.
Yeah. They're making a sequel.
Ooh.
Which I'm actually very happy about, because Immortals,
I'm really happy about that.
Phoenix Rising was. I really like that game. Like, it was really fun.
I still haven't played my copy. I've had it for ages now.
Oh, did you buy it?
I bought it for PS5 when it was on sale for like $30 at some point. And I had loaded it in. I even bought it Season Pass and just never started it because I was in the middle of Breath of the Wild. Because that was the thing, is we talked about it. I was like, should I start Breath of the Wild or Immortals Phoenix Rising? And you were like, start Breath of the Wild. And then I didn't finish either one of them.
Right.
Now I'm playing Elden Ring, so...
Michael, you got to finish a video game.
Never.
You got to finish a video game.
This is why I don't read the item descriptions, Jeff. I don't have time.
There's also, apparently they're also making a new Prince of Persia game. And this is not the remake, but like another Prince of Persia project. So, you know what? I'm also going to kind of come back here and say, Ubisoft, I think you need to make fewer fucking video games. Like, they're becoming like very similar to Square Enix, where between Far Cry and Assassin's Creed and like For Honor is still getting updates, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint and the Prince of Persia and Beyond Good and Evil 2 and the Rabbids Tactics, and it's just like, oh my God, you guys fucking chill out for one goddamn second and just finish something.
That's why they have the new tech, Jeff.
That's right. It's all going to be one game. It's just going to be one game.
It's all made by Johnny 5 now.
Called Ubisoft. It's just, you're going to buy the Ubisoft.
It's all powered by Uplay.
Oh my God, I don't.
You get Assassin's Creed outfits, Jeff, for games that have nothing to do with Assassin's Creed.
They also,
you want Ezio's outfit for the 1,000th time.
They also have apparently another game that's like a 2.5D Metroidvania game that they're making, and like I like 2.5D Metroidvania games. I do not trust Ubisoft at this point.
I don't trust them to make one. Yeah,
make a game. Like, I was very surprised when Immortals Phoenix Rising turned out to be good. I was like, whoa.
and it was obvious they didn't give them money.
yeah. It was obvious that it was very low on the totem pole. So, yep. Oh yeah, Skull and Bones. Also that Avatar game.
Skull and Bones.
X Defiant. Oh yeah, the Overwatch game that they're making.
Forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh my
is that
God.
is that a good sign? Roller Champions, the Splinter Cell remake.
Yep.
Like, come on, guys. Also, they put out Just Dance every year.
That's true.
Like, they're not going to be happy until every single game is a Ubisoft game. It'll be like the Fast Food Wars and Demolition Man, except now every game is a Ubisoft game.
I'd rather not want that. Yeah.
Man. Yep. Let's see. In other online news, the Humble and itch.io and Fortnite have all been doing fundraisers for the Ukraine, and they have raised over $50 million all put together.
Nice.
Which is great. So apparently there was a Humble bundle. I didn't talk about this one, but that one had like Slay the Spire and Wonder Song and Spyro and stuff like that on it. And that was raised about $10 million for 4 different charities. The itch.io bundle that I mentioned before raised about $6.3 million. Oh,
damn.
That was a really good one too. But this was the most interesting part of this, and I think this is what we all need to keep in perspective, right? I said those numbers, the very large numbers, a very good amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? So I was reading through this article, and at the bottom here it says, on March 20th, Epic Games and Xbox announced they were donating all Fortnite proceeds until April 3rd. As of March 21st, which is one day after they announced it, Epic reports that it raised $36 million.
Oh, my God.
For Direct Relief United Nations Children's Fund World Food Program and the UN Refugee Agency.
They still have like 2 weeks.
Yes. Like, I don't know if I'm just not understanding the timeline correctly, but this sentence seems to indicate that in one day they made $36 million.
That's exactly what it's saying, Jeff.
Which, you know... Again, I feel like every so often we really need to put into perspective the reason that Epic is able to just literally throw away money to developers to get games on the Epic Games Store is because if they're making $30 million a day on fucking Fortnite, like, oh my God.
That's
Seriously.
probably not even a day, technically. That's probably like half a day when they started it.
I mean, you know, and that's between Sunday and Monday.
Sunday and then Sunday and Monday, and that's a slow period, kind of thing. That's Sunday and Monday is not it's a school night technically.
That's not Friday and Saturday, motherfucker.
Yeah. Like, fuck me.
Okay,
oh, shit.
So yeah, and if they're gonna do that every day for a few weeks, my God,
that's fucking insane. God, that's insanity.
Holy crap!
I would love to see the numbers after it's done.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else is insanity, Michael. Guess who's in Call of Duty Warzone this week?
Is it Spyro the Dragon?
It is not Spyro.
Crash Bandicoot?
You've got the right first initial, and you're in the not the general ballpark, but there is
Sidney Poitier.
Yes, it's Sidney Poitier. Is it called? No, it's Snoop Dogg.
I was close.
Call of Duty Vanguard.
Holy fuck!
Warzone Season 2 had a huge update this week that put a new version of the island and Snoop Dogg. I don't understand. Like, the last time I talked about this, it's when they put Attack on Titan. They put like the scout outfit, and then like a few weeks later they had the armored Titan skin that you could get. It's like, guys, why Snoop Dogg? Is that
reasons, Jeff?
Is that a thing?
Maybe Snoop Dogg really likes the game. That happens sometimes.
I mean, I suppose, but it's not even like, you know, it's just a picture of. It's not like Snoop Dogg has lines. Like,
does he not have lines?
I don't think so. I mean,
if he has lines, then that would make it worth it.
I don't think that the skins really have
like for shizzle as he throws grenades.
Have lines, but like, yeah, Snoop Dogg. It's just like, also here's Snoop Dogg in Call of Duty Vanguard.
Sure, I guess.
So that happened.
That's fucking insane. I don't know what else to say.
No, well, let's talk about. If you don't know what to say, let's talk about Babylon's Fall some more.
Oh God,
because it's still a thing. Yeah,
or is it still a thing?
Well, apparently, one of the things here is that Babylon's Fall is. They put out a statement. And it starts with, in all capital letters, "Is the continuing service in danger?" And then the
bold
answer
letters
is
too.
no. There are no plans to reduce the scale of development on Babylon's Fall. Content up to the end of season 2 is now practically complete, and we've started work on season 3 and beyond.
Christ.
We will continue to provide new content for the game and make improvements based on player feedback, striving to keep existing players playing and attract newcomers.
You're gonna just make a new game, right? Instead.
Yeah, no.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, no. So the thing is that I actually looked today at the, what is it, Steam Spy. Will tell you like how many people have actually played, and it was like 200.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yes.
That's so low.
Yes. Apparently, when the game launched, it had a high of like 1,100. Like,
that's still not a lot.
No.
Especially for a game like this.
Yeah. A Platinum Games, Square Enix online multiplayer, brand new IP.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. I think that Square Enix has realized that it's going to be less of a PR hit if they just let this fucking thing die over the course of the next 6 months and then shut it down then, as opposed to putting out a brand new $60 game and then like closing it down in 2 weeks because there's like a few hundred people playing it. Now, granted, when I checked that Steam Spy, it was in the middle of the afternoon, right? But still, that's
a really low number, guys. That's super fucking low.
That's lower than Avengers.
Avengers, yeah, consistently will keep 1,100 maybe.
That's lower than Battlefield 2042.
Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
So bad. I want to see what it is now.
You want to see what it is now?
I want to see what it is right now.
Was it Steam
as
Spy?
We're talking. This is 8 o'clock at night, Central Time.
Yep.
I want to know how many people are playing this fucking game.
Let's see. Is it what it is? And then we'll search for Babylon's Fall. Okay. Apparently, it has between 200,000 and 500,000, 50,000, between 20,000 and 50,000 owners. Audience, no. CDC. Current peak players, 310. Yeah, it's up a little bit from this afternoon.
Yeah, there's dozens of them, Jeff. Dozens.
442 appears to be the max from. Oh, that's a few days ago.
That's from that's.
So today's
310.
The max is 310.
Dozens of them, Jeff. Just dozens.
Yeah, couldn't have happened to a nicer fucking guy.
Christ, fucking mighty.
Like what? How did this happen?
This reminds me of what happened with, or not even what happened, because that game got unfairly fucked. It was that that game that came out when Overwatch came out, that Gearbox made.
Battleborn. Yep.
It feels a lot like that. Except even sadder.
That's very true. So yeah, if you're worried that you've wasted your money on Babylon's Fall, fear not, because
they're holding out for that Nier Automata collaboration, Jeff.
Still a thing, sort of.
Those 12 people.
Okay, how about better news, Michael? How about better news than that?
What kind of news is it?
The Nintendo type of news.
Go on.
So there was a recent update to Nintendo Switch, and now you can finally put shit into folders.
Oh my God, finally.
On your
fucking hell.
Nintendo Switch. Something that everybody's been asking for forever. Yeah. Which is good news. So apparently you can just take your games and you can create this little how-to on Nintendo's website. You can make like Mario games or indie games or whatever you want and just kind of put them together, which is very, very good.
That's actually was really good, guys.
I appreciate it.
There's so many games that you have to go through for that shit. It's ridiculous.
I tell you what, that's great, but like managing like your saved games and your installed games, and they're like, oh, do you want to archive this? And I'm like, what does that mean?
I don't even know what that means.
What does archive mean? It appears to mean delete, but I can't tell.
But there's also a delete button.
Yeah, I don't know, because every time it wants me to free up space, it asks if I want to archive my games, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. This
is why I bought that stupidly high fucking card for mine.
Oh, storage.
No, I think it's a 400 gig one. I think
I need to do that.
Something like that.
I've been thinking about upgrading all my storage, but it's
pretty good.
I bought a brand new Xbox One controller to hopefully stop the fucking random disconnects when I try to play PC games for this channel.
So far, it's working out. I need to get a new Xbox One controller just so I can, or not Xbox One, Series X one.
I tested my controller all afternoon, and then Amanda and I played a game, and then it just was consistently like, it was a game where like I didn't realize that the controller had been disconnected until the choice came up on the screen with the countdown timer at the bottom, and oh god, no. So
that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm now gonna have a dedicated Xbox controller.
You'll never get that love interest, Jeff, because you didn't do that right fucking thing.
It wasn't that kind of game. It was that one where David Wallace from the Office got poisoned, and you have to have a Zoom call with your grandma to figure out who poisoned him.
Oh,
it was very weird.
So you have to romance the grandma, is what you're saying?
No, not when you're related to her. There's also some updates in this Switch update for Bluetooth headsets, which apparently is okay.
Neat.
Let's see. In other Nintendo news, Nintendo's first original phone game, Dragalia Lost, from September 2018, is getting shut down.
I'd never heard of it.
Yep, me neither. But the campaign is apparently scheduled to end in July of 2022, and then March 31st, 2022, the game's gonna get shut down and you're done. Apparently,
that's pretty close to when it ends. That's kind of random.
Yeah, apparently this is a relatively easy or relatively straightforward gacha game.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think we're losing anything like really big here. But
no one's heard of.
Yep.
No.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that we have a lot of time because we do have some horrible stuff to talk about this week. There were two different reports that came out this week. There was an article from VentureBeat, and then there was a video that this organization, this group, made on YouTube that both kind of came out with some allegations about bad work environments at smaller indie studios. The VentureBeat article, I'm going to be honest with you, Michael, I read about a third of it. It's like so long. It's very, very long.
That's a bad thing.
Very in-depth.
It should not be that long, guys.
Yes.
I don't mean that as in like you shouldn't write something that long. I mean that you shouldn't have enough information to make something that long.
Like here, watch the scroll bar as I scroll through this and just like and I kept.
There's no way I'm reading all that.
I thought about sending it to you and be like, no, you read it. So okay, let's talk about Moon Studios first, which is the Ori and the Blind Forest guys.
All right.
Okay, so apparently this was I didn't know this, but Moon Studios started out as a remote studio.
Oh,
where it was like two guys. One of them was ex-Blizzard, and the other one was like I think it was like finance or something like that.
That was your trouble. You got a Blizzard guy.
Yeah, and they created Moon Studios, and they would basically outsource to various indie developers, like pre-lockdown, pre-pandemic. They were basically doing the pandemic like global hiring, like Zoom call virtual company thing, but before the pandemic happened. So apparently, there's a lot of... I want to get into this. I really do. There's a lot of red flags here. One of the red flags is when you read through this article, they're like, we're not like other companies. We're like a family here, and we don't want people to feel like they can't speak their mind. So we just say whatever's on our mind. We don't have a filter at all. Not like those stuffy corporate suits.
Oh, that's a terrible thing.
So... okay, a lot of this appears to be just the top two guys at the studio.
Christ. Of course.
This is Thomas Mahler and Gennady Corral. Apparently, this will tell you something. One of them is a person of the Jewish persuasion.
Oh my God.
And apparently the other guy would like to make jokes to that effect when they had disagreements in like the public group chat in the Discord that they used to coordinate the projects with people. Apparently they would call people like...
Is his friend Cardman? Is that what it was?
I don't like... well, apparently these two guys know each other and they're friends, okay? Now I want to say a few things, and then I want to come back to a thesis that I've been thinking about this particular thing. And also about this other studio thing where like apparently they would... like... if you had a if you didn't do work that they liked, there was one thing where they said they would call them like a useless abortion, like in front of the other people in the group chat. Like this was a place where apparently people would just be mocked and ridiculed if they didn't do the thing right the first time. Part of this VentureBeat article talks about how they're like, you know what, man? Like, Michael, I don't care when you come in or how many hours you work. All I care about is that the things get done. And it'd be like, okay, well, we need that asset by the end of the week. And it's like, okay, there's no way that I can make that asset if I work 8 hours a day. So like you've said you don't care when I come in or when I work, but like it's going to take 60 hours of work to get this done this week. So like you're basically telling me that I have to work overtime without saying I have to work overtime. There's a lot here. There's a lot. But what it's kind of come down to, and this actually talks about the I should say before we move on too far, the other one was an investigation. I highly recommend everybody go watch this. It was a 40-minute video. Let me see if I can make sure that I can find who this is. This was the YouTube channel that made this. It was called Investigating 3 Indie Superstars Accused of Emotional Abuse by a channel called People Make Games that I have not looked at before. The other studios involved that were talked about in this other article, because one of them is a Kotaku article, there was a PC Gamer article, was Phenomena, which was the company that made Watam. Do you remember that game?
Not really.
It was like the weird where you had the little. It was by the guy that made like Katamari Damacy, and you had the weird little characters with like little eyeballs and stuff. I think you would know
vaguely. If I saw it, I'm sure.
This is Watam. Watam. Not Whataburger. This game.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah. One of them was the company that made Watam. Another one was called. It was Mountain. And it was Mountains, which made Florence. You remember that game?
I do, actually.
John and I played it. It was very fun. It was like a romantic game, right? It was kind of a little like indie game. It was a big darling a few years back. And then People Make Games, which made Gone Home and Fulbright, which made Gone Home and Tacoma, which we actually had a story about how the guy that was like the CEO there, like they had gone through like 24 women in like 5 years there who came on and then left. So okay, a lot of this seems to be this thing, and I was thinking about this a lot because I've experienced this a lot in my life, Michael, and maybe you have too, where it's like you go work for a person that has like a vision and a passion, and they know what kind of game or what kind of product they want to make, but they are not a manager. They're not a person that knows how to manage people. Like a lot of what's happened here is talking about having these people at the top of these companies who are these auteurs who very much have a vision for how they want their game to make, and then but they don't know how to communicate that to the people that are actually making the game. So they say, I think it should be like this, and then the artist will go and make that thing, and then they'll show it to them and they'll be like, that's fucking stupid. That is not nearly what I had in mind. You are a worthless piece of shit. Go back and fix it. And the person is like, well, I don't know how to fix it. And they're like, shut the fuck up and fix it. Like, just because a person has talent, maybe what I'm trying to get at here is that like management, feedback, critique, and like creation in a logistical way, these are skills that you don't intrinsically have because you are talented as an artist or have a vision, right? Like these are things that some people innately have, but let's just say that I have had a lot of situations in my life where I have ended up doing projects for somebody who was a very passionate and driven person who had a very specific idea of what they wanted, but wasn't necessarily a manager.
Yeah.
They didn't have the skills to be able to manage people. And as a subset of this, when reading this article, I wanted to say, like, why do companies keep saying we're like a family? Does anybody like their fucking family? Everybody that I know is like, oh my God, I've got to see my uncle this weekend. He's just going to fucking talk to me about fucking bullwhips, and he's been collecting them for 30. I fucking hate him. I hate him so much.
I would love to talk to that guy
about bullwhips
that
for,
sounds
for
awesome,
hours.
actually.
Like, I don't know that many people who are just like, I love my family without reservation. They've never done anything to make me mad my entire life. I don't know why. Like, if I don't even have that much of a problem with my family, but a lot of it is because I hold my tongue because I was repressed a lot. That was my childhood. But like, if somebody was like, come work for us, we're exactly like your family, and I'd be like, fuck that. I don't want to work for my family.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. Like, can you imagine if you had to work with your siblings? Like, I don't want to do that.
I couldn't even play Ultimate Alliance 2 with my brothers. like we tried, and I was like, it was all four of us.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do the together supers to beat any of the bosses, and we kept fucking dying. I was like, for the love of God, just hold down this button so I can do the thing.
Yes. So for Moon Studios, I highly recommend everybody go watch that video and go read that story. But I just wanted to say, okay, the other thing that's really interesting about this is that this is a shitload of nasty work environment. I want to say this word. It's got connotations behind it, but I want everybody that's listening to try to divorce your mind from the first thing that comes to mind. The word microaggression. And I think that I can explain this in a way that's going to basically tell everybody that'll make sense to everybody. We're like, have you ever had a job where like every day there's some bullshit?
Yeah.
And it's not like Bobby Kotick says he's going to murder you, right? Or somebody is sexually assaulting you, or like, your coworker is punching you in the face every day. It's just every day there's some fucking disrespectful horse shit.
What was the TPS report thing?
Right.
From Office Space, if you guys have not seen Office Space.
Yeah. And then like after like a year or two, you were like, fuck this place. This place is making me want to die. And then your friend is like, well, what happened? And you're like, Cindy took all the push pins from the break room, and then I had to use tape during the presentation at lunch. And they're like, what? That doesn't sound very good. It's like, you don't understand. It's this every day for 5 fucking years, and I'm gonna burn the building down because I'm so mad at the teeny little the fucking audition shit. Where it's like if you tried to say it, if you went to an HR person and you were like, well, Frank took half my sandwich, and you want to burn down the building. And it's like, right, but yesterday Cindy took all my push pins. And they're like, you're a crazy person. Or like, you should hear the tone that fucking, Don took during my quarterly review. He was very just like shitty to me. And it's just like, and you want to burn down the building. And it's like, but you don't get it.
It's like, all of the things. It's not just one or two things. It's all of the things.
Yeah, like part of this Moon Studios thing was the guy talking about how like because they were an international team, like things would happen in chat. So every day they would wake up and they would have like 200 chat messages that they would have to literally sift through to try to find if there was anything pertinent to what that person was supposed to be doing, because they wouldn't specifically like update what they were supposed to be doing, because we're just a fucking loose, laid back family, fucking guys making weird jokes about Jews to each other in this fucking Slack chat. And it's like, so now you got to get up every morning with the guy. One of the people there just like it made me terrified to wake up in the morning, where I wake up and I would just be like, ugh, because the first thing I'd have to do is roll through 6 hours of off-brand body humor and insulting people and back and forth and up and down to read all this shit to try to figure out if there was something in here that was pertinent to what I needed to do.
Real.
And that was every day. And it's just like, well, yeah, after doing that every day, you're going to get mad and worn down and like apparently Moon Studios, they would go out and they would headhunt for like very talented people. One of the things apparently the CEOs would do is they would like hire very talented people and then immediately like trash talk the games that they had made, where they were just like, this person, they're coming in here, they made fucking War for Cybertron, and that was a really shitty game, but like I appreciate that they're doing good work, like stuff like that.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Apparently Microsoft doesn't give a shit. Those other 3 studios I was talking about, they have their own horror stories. I mean, we already know about Fulbright and the guy that was in charge there. Apparently at Mountains, it was just like this thing where the guy that was in charge, these three studios between Mountains and Fulbright and Phenomena are all Annapurna Interactive.
Oh, okay.
And apparently Annapurna Interactive does not give any shits. Like apparently when most of the staff at Mountains, like they did a poll asking them like, hey, what like, do you think we can finish this project? And it was like 6 no's and 1 yes. And it was like, do you think that the fucking guy that made this should continue at this company? And it was unanimously no. And apparently when all this was said and done, Annapurna went to this guy and said, okay, you've kind of fucked up here. Can you finish this project if we just dissolve this company, reform it in California and hire a bunch of interns? And he was like, yeah. And so that was like their solution, was to basically just like fire all the people that worked in the company and like go reform it with a bunch of people who didn't know any better and would accept their abuse.
Yeah.
Apparently at Phenomena, there's this lady, this Robin lady that like, she would like pressure people to tell them about their personal life. And then when they told her about their personal life, she would then bring that up in meetings to be like, well, you know what? Don't worry about our deadline's on Friday. But like, Jim, I know that you might not be able to get that because you've been going through such a rocky time with your wife right now, like in front of other people, like to the point where apparently people outside of the company had heard stories about the personal lives of people inside of the company. And they'd like run into people at trade shows who'd be like, is it true that so-and-so is like fucking up so-and-so? And they would be like, I'm not going to answer that question.
That's like, insane.
Nobody's fucking business. Like,
that's so fucking insane.
So yeah, this is all to say that like sometimes there's a case to be made for like corporate hacks, for like stuffy, uptight, no sense of humor ass Giancarlo Esposito on The Boys motherfucker, Giancarlo Esposito in everything motherfuckers who are just like, do it and get it done. Like, I'm not your friend. I run this place and I'm going to make sure that you know what you have to do, when the deliverables are, and if there's a problem, you're going to come and tell me and I'm going to get this sorted out because that's my job, as opposed to being like the fucking punk rock CEO, man. We're going to make some video games. Isn't that cool?
It's the thing. It's the difference between a Steve Carell from The Office.
Yes.
Or fucking Ricky Gervais in the original one.
Yes.
Or, yeah, like you said,
Giancarlo Esposito.
I can never say the whole thing.
Gina Carano. No, not Gina Carano.
Definitely not Gina Carano. But yes, it's the difference between those. Sometimes consistency with the boss that's kind of a pain in the ass is much easier to deal with than someone who says they're your friend and just constantly keeps fucking you over and not understanding why they are.
Yes. The funniest thing was I'm pretty sure that the Moon Studios guys went into the comment section of this VentureBeat article to sock puppet some stuff, because
not surprised,
like you can see that it just goes and it goes and it goes and it goes, and this is all mostly just quotes. Like, it's just quotes of most of this article. And the first one is like, you drew pictures of the two guys that is so distant from reality as if they were monsters. It's almost criminally relevant. I wonder about all the company internals you get for this. Yours are destroying their business, and now 80 people at Moon have to worry about their future. You could be really proud of yourself. I really hope there's legal aftermath for you. This is an angry comment full of misspellings that was obviously typed very quickly.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
I love the reply to it. Thomas, you don't have to post under pseudonyms if you want to join the conversation.
Yeah, there's one comment in here that's just like, oh man, I'm so glad to hear that there are dev teams that aren't full of fucking snowflakes. I'm like, look, man, there's like none of the stuff from this article seems to be, you didn't use my preferred pronouns. It seems to be like, you fucking trash talked us to our face for 3 years.
Yeah.
And like, I don't give a shit like what the game is. This is already a very difficult job. The last thing in the world you need is for then somebody else to pile like emotional shit on top of the already difficult thing of making video games. So yeah. So I don't know. I think that it's interesting to it makes me wonder between this and like the Activision Blizzard stuff. Like, we're getting a lot of light on this in this particular industry, but like, is this everything? Is this everything everywhere? Is everything this, and we just don't know it yet? And as time goes on, it's just going to turn out that, like, I don't know, 75% of the corporations in the United States are just run by fucking dickbags that treat the place like their own personal playground. And like,
it happens to a lot of places is the thing. There's just so many places that it does, and nobody can say anything because they fear getting fired.
Right.
Or they say something and then they get fired anyways. So.
Or they say something and then they get quoted with their name in an article, and everybody's like, oh, well, I don't want to hire them.
Yeah.
They'll talk to Kotaku. They'll talk to VentureBeat if I do something wrong.
Exactly.
It's like, well, instead of worrying about that, why don't you worry about, like, don't do wrong? Like,
yeah, just don't fucking do it.
Like, instead of being like, well, we can't hire that bitch. She'll rat us out if we grab her ass. And it's like, maybe don't grab her ass. Maybe just don't make Jew jokes at work.
Yeah,
like,
it's like it's clear why they did it, so don't do the things of why they did it.
Right.
That's just how that works.
Right.
If you're worried about that, then there's something wrong with you.
Well, it's like, what was it, several weeks back when we had that thing with Bobby Kotick where the California Department of Housing or whatever and Employment was like subpoenaing just like any court records that had to do with Bobby Kotick, and they were just like, this is a fishing expedition. This has nothing to do with the matter at hand. And I'm like, well, if you did wrong, I'm interested in hearing that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the thing is,
if you did nothing wrong, then you have nothing to worry about.
I mean, and I know that statement you just said, it can be a very slippery slope in a lot of ways.
But the issue is that, like, every time they say it, it's because clearly they've done something wrong.
Right. But there's a difference between saying that about like Twitter, right? Or like your personal Facebook account, and like the people that run a company that employs people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm of the opinion that the company should be very transparent and should not be able to hide things, because if you're hiding things, then it probably means, like, if you're doing the shit the right way, you shouldn't need to hide what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you shouldn't be like, yeah, don't look into it's my personal business. It's like, it's not. It's a fucking company.
Yeah, exactly. You hire people. This is everybody's business.
Right. Like, I don't want the internet listening to my phone calls, but
no,
like,
who uses phones anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, nobody really.
It's just be like, yeah, I'm ordering pizza again. And they'd be like, why don't you use our online service? And you're like, oh, I never thought of it. And then that's the only phone call I've made.
Yes. But I highly recommend everybody. Oh, also, apparently there's a content warning on here. The Moon Studios guys, apparently the game they wanted to make after the Ori and the Blind Forest wanted to be a game about a lady that is sexually assaulted, and then that is what leads her to become less nice and go on a revenge rampage. And everybody in the company was like, no, probably not. That's not a good idea.
It's a super bad idea
right now to do that. Like,
it's a Grindhouse movie idea, not a game movie.
Yeah.
Not a game idea.
There was a lot
you
of
could show that at Fantastic Fest, but not GDC.
Oh my god, a lot of the stuff from the Mountains developer indicated, like, a lot of the people that dealt with that guy, they were like, it seems like he just felt better by belittling other people, and so he would just call people into his office. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, what is the one? I think it's for the Mountains guy. He was the one that they wanted. Yeah. So the situation at Mountains was so bad that they had one employee that they had to hire them in for more work, and they hired them with the specific clause that, like, the director will not talk to you. Like,
oh my God,
you cannot have any direct conversations with them. There's another person where they talked about if the guy started getting out of line, they basically had a safe word that they could use to stop the conversation.
Oh my God.
And one of the people that worked there was like, what kind of studio needs a fucking safe word? Like, this is the difference between, like, oh, snowflakes and, like, corporate mandated that you have to stop talking if I say the word pause out loud in a meeting because you're so fucking abusive.
That's ridiculous.
So
amazing, but ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not just Activision Blizzard. I recommend everybody go read that VentureBeat article. I mean, it's really long, but
this is why we can't have nice things, guys.
And go watch this. The People Make Games video is 40 minutes long, so, it'll probably less of a amount of time than reading that huge ass VentureBeat article, but it's for different places. So.
Yeah.
Right. So in Japan, if you're a giant dickbag,
What they do now?
and you talk to people badly, you get arrested.
Really?
So apparently, there's a 54-year-old resident in Toyokawa, Japan, that was arrested earlier in March for sending death threats to Sega.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why?
Apparently, he wrote that he wanted to set the company on fire, kill employees, and even kill the families and children of employees. Apparently, he did this because they didn't really say all that much, but apparently he was like losing in a multiplayer game or something. I don't know.
God, really?
Something.
the fuck, guys?
Yeah.
You're 54, dude.
Yeah.
No better.
Yeah.
Christ.
So
At least be mad about a Sonic game or something.
The email says he
normal.
lost in an online game and was frustrated.
Fucking hell.
Now, Japan takes this shit really seriously after that fucking crazy guy that burned down Kyoto Animation where 36 people died.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, Japan is not a bastion of free speech that lets you say whatever the fuck you want. In Japan, they take this shit fucking seriously. Like, if you say, I'm going to come to your house and murder you, then they arrest you and they send you to jail. I mean, they will arrest you if you make a cake with the fucking pattern from the Demon Slayer guy on it without permission from fucking the Demon Slayer company. That happened to a lady that was making off-brand Demon Slayer cakes. But like,
Toei does not fuck around.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that guy with the YouTube channel where they fucking struck 600 videos in a day or
Pretty
something
much
like
all
that.
of them,
So yeah, don't in Japan you can fuck around, but you will find out. You will find out.
You will definitely find out.
I'm of two minds about this. On the one hand, I don't think you should be allowed to tell people you want to kill their families and burn down the building. On the other hand, I don't know about arresting. I don't know. Maybe a really stiff fine.
The thing is that he sent repeated ones.
Yeah, I guess so.
If it was just the one, that they probably would have just let it go.
Right.
But he apparently just kept sending it to them. 12 of them.
Yeah.
12 threatening emails between December and February of this year.
Yeah.
That's 3 months worth of these things.
Yeah.
So that's they definitely, yeah.
He's no good. It's no good.
No good. Yeah.
No good.
If it was just a couple of them in a month, then yeah, maybe you're fine. But yeah, no, fuck this.
All right. Now we're about to get into the trailers, Michael, but before that, we need a palate cleanser. I said it at the beginning. I bet you all forgot about those fuzzy fucking Xbox controllers.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
So, in the worst thing to ever happen in the world.
They're horrifying.
Yeah, Microsoft has made a movie tie-in Xbox Series S for the new Sonic and Knuckles movie that's coming out. It's got a big ring around the circle thing on the top of the Xbox Series S.
No.
It's got Sonic and Tails face to face on the top.
That's Knuckles, Jeff.
Knuckles. It's got Sonic and Knuckles.
You really don't like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I think Xbox is one of the ugliest fucking things. It would be better if it was white instead of black. Like,
yeah, it is a little weird that it's a black one. This is it's only a contest too, right?
Yeah, you can't buy this. It's you have to win a contest. And then they have two controllers, and one of them is blue and one of them is red, and they're Xbox One controllers that basically have colored shag carpeting stapled all over them, glued to them.
They're horrifying looking.
They look so, it makes my hands itch to look at them. Like,
it grosses me out looking at them.
The thought of holding a fuzzy controller, not like a short hair like my dog, but like a long hair like your dog. Like shag carpet, not industrial carpet, but like
you can almost not see the buttons.
Yeah.
How much fucking fur is on it.
Like Cookie Monster.
Yeah, it looks like a Cookie Monster controller more than a Sonic controller.
Cookie Monster and Elmo controllers.
It's horrifying.
They look like Muppets. Like,
if you win them, there's no using them. Like, you should never use those controllers.
I mean, how many times could you use them before they became completely matted down and unusable?
Pretty quickly.
3?
And that's if you weren't eating anything and then using them afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Like,
God,
imagine
getting Dorito dust inside of the fur.
Dorito dust or pizza grease. Like, those things would be destroyed within a couple hours.
Well, you vacuum them, I wonder if they're removable. I wonder if they made it so that you can Velcro the fur off and wash it, put it in the washing machine or something.
That's a good point. Maybe it's just a cover.
Maybe it's fine,
Either way, God, just looking at them freaks me out. Especially the red one, because it looks like those buttons are like eyes more than they are fucking buttons. It's freaking me out, Jeff.
Pretty terrible.
It's horrifying.
Pretty terrible. Well,
dun, 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 dun.
If you get freaked out looking at those, Maybe you'll get freaked out looking at this tech demo called Enemies that came out at GDC for the new version of Unity, the Unity engine. It's this very slow pan. We don't have time to kind of watch it all, of up to this lady that's like playing chess. And there's kind of this big rotating thing in the floor that has all this moving stuff and kind of rotates around. But the big thing here is that, boy, the face tech on Unity of all things, is looking good.
Looking really good.
Very, very lifelike. Like, very.
It's time to make that fucking LA Noire too.
Yeah.
To figure out if she's doubting.
I mean, already Unreal Engine 5 can do this stuff, but the idea that this is going to be integrated within the next few months into actual Unity, which up until now did not do faces that looked this good.
Although there's something freaky about the way her mouth is over her teeth.
Yeah. I think it's just that's
still something they haven't gotten perfected yet.
Yeah.
It's because the teeth are still like very stagnant, but the lips are like moving up and down over it. So there's just something jarring about it.
I don't know. It looks a lot better than what Unity used to look like.
Yes, it does look 100 times better though.
But it's a cool little thing.
You can still tell it's a digital person if you look at them long enough.
Yeah, but way better than Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Very, very much better than that.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the idea that between Unreal Engine 5 and new versions of Unity, like, this is just the norm for what a character in a video game looks like moving forward.
I'm cool with that.
Like, that's kind of nuts, because it used to be that this level of fidelity we did not get unless it was a really big AAA game. So
yeah, we're getting towards that future that people keep wanting from like next gen.
Yeah,
where people are like, nothing's fancy enough. It's like, yeah, we're getting there still, guys.
We're very
Just
close.
give it some time.
Yep. Let's see. In other big news, Monaco is getting a sequel. Do you remember Monaco? What's mine is yours?
Oh, yeah. I remember now. So,
yeah, Monaco was a game, was a 2D. I was actually keeping track of Monaco for a long time. And then it finally came out. It was this very kind of simple heist game where you had a bunch of different kind of very blocky characters that you would kind of set up these heists with. If you did it right, you could kind of get away. And it had a co-op element to it where people could work together, which could be very, very fun or incredibly frustrating, because there was a bunch of different characters that all had different kind of specialties that could help you do it. So, yeah, they're making a new one. They're making Monaco 2.
Good for them.
I believe this is being made by another company. Pocket Watch Games, and then the original creator of the first one is coming back to work with them.
Oh, that's badass.
Humble is publishing it. It's going to be 3D instead of 2D, which the previous one was.
Oh, okay.
There's a little teaser trailer for it, but it's mostly just like the fucking boss guy talking about how, like, all right, if we do this and this and this, and then while he's doing it, it shows everybody's doing the opposite of what he said to do.
Oh, okay.
And so it's all going wrong the whole time.
I love that. That's actually a lot of fun.
Yep. Yep, big fan of Monaco. Let's see. From there, we got there's a Kickstarter. Devotion, the studio that made Red Candle Games that made Devotion and Detention, has a Kickstarter up for a new game called Nine Souls, which is a 2D side-scrolling kind of Metroidvania platformer with some kind of slightly Sekiro timed combat elements to it.
Oh, okay.
And a real hand animated art style. It's very different looking than either of the previous games they made.
It's really beautiful, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of got this very like kind of. It's got a real techno look to it, but it's also this very kind of Taoist monks and martial arts kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. There's a few points, like in the background here, you can see there's a bunch of like bodies and headless. There's like meat and weird mutant looking things. So it does feel like it has a little bit of kind of weird, gross horror stuff going on in the background.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as, I guess the previous games didn't even have any like body horror or anything to them. But yeah, this looks like a very traditional. It kind of reminds me of Guacamelee in a way, between the platforming and the kind of the focused combat.
I could see that.
Yeah. So they have a Kickstarter that is up for this. It has, or I don't know if it's a direct. No, it's a direct crowdfunding goal. They're already at 150% of their goal.
Oh, Jesus.
With 44 days left to go. They were looking for the equivalent of $105,000, which they've already very much surpassed.
Okay,
so,
good for them.
yeah. I don't know. I really I like this company's games. I'm glad that they finally got out from under the yoke of the fucking Chinese government, because
that's good.
They pulled their business license when Devotion had the
that's right. I remember
Winnie
that.
the Pooh, Xi Jinping asset thing in it.
It was just like a random thing in there too.
It was like a third. When they pulled it immediately, they pulled it down off of Steam and they pulled that asset immediately.
Yeah.
But then it didn't go back up for several years, and then they pulled their business license, and
it was fucked.
They go through a lot of shit.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah. You can now buy Devotion directly from Red Candle Games, but I already bought one thing. I already ordered a thing that had to come in here from a boat from Asia this week, so I'm not.
Has it gotten here yet?
No, it's not here yet.
Hey.
I want it to be here, but so yeah, check it out. Check it out. I think it's like what the equivalent of like $20 for just the digital copy of the game.
I think so.
We got a couple of very quick Lost Judgment, the Kaito Files videos. These aren't even really trailers.
Yeah.
They're just showing Kaito using his animal senses, because he's got animal instincts. Which is just a remix of looking around at stuff, the looking around at stuff mechanic. That in the Lost Judgment, you got like a parabolic mic and like a bunch of different things that would let you do very similar things. And there's a second video that came out that was just sneaking, which they added into Lost Judgment and sucks. I hate it. Like, it's just,
really?
Well, it's not like open sneaking. It's like you go to this very specific point and then you throw a coin and then the guy looks for the coin and then you walk up behind him. It's not like you can pick your own way through this stealthy section. It's like, no, there is one way to do it. You will do it that way. That is the way you will do it at the end. So
I'm not a fan of those.
Yeah. And this is a very stiff Judgment Yakuza style quote unquote mini game, right? Where it's not exactly loose. It could stand to be a little bit looser. But I'm actually really excited about this. I'm probably not going to get a chance to play it until sometime in March, but Kaito's a great character. He's my buddy. I like him. So
that's good.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got a release date trailer for a game that I had never heard of called Kaiju Wars. A lot of kaiju games recently, right?
Which I'm, good for those fans. Well, I'm one of them, but
this appears to be. Have you ever heard of this before, Michael?
No.
It looks a lot like that game Into the Breach. You remember that game that was from the FTL guys? But it's like got kaijus in it. It's a 1-bit kind of pixel art thing with a little bit of color. But it's like a turn-based thing where you've got kaijus coming down. It's apparently got like a map editor, and it's got like fucking Gundams and missile launchers, and then giant monkeys and stuff. And it's like, I don't know. This trailer doesn't say a lot about what's going on. It's mostly just like art and stuff and animations.
That's interesting.
But it looks really interesting. It looks like a very strange game.
This is much, because there's so many kaiju games, but this is so much more different than those other ones.
Yeah,
because one of them is the fighting thing. There's the beat 'em up thing that came out, and this this is
like a strategy game,
or not even turn based, but just like a whole. I don't really know how to explain it. I guess
it looks a lot like that Into the Breach game.
Yeah,
but with giant monkeys and stuff, and giant rats and such. So I don't know. It's very strange, but it's going to be out April 28th on Steam, and then it's coming to Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. So.
Okay, that's nice.
There you go.
Put it on the list, I guess.
We also got an animated release date trailer for Soldiers, Souldiers, which is a kind of a 2D Metroidvania game that's got some Dark Souls inspired. Oh, everything's got Dark Souls in it now. I'm fucking sick of it.
Everything has Dark Souls.
I'm fucking sick of it. Get your own ideas. Quit fucking ripping off Dark Souls.
It's true, guys. You guys really should stop ripping off Dark Souls.
You know what, Tunic? I love you. I love you with a passion, but like, quit it. That game Tunic is really good, by the way.
I hear it's really good.
I got farther in it, and we got the shield. I finally got a shield.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I got some more. I beat a few bosses. But I was trying to play it this afternoon, and my fucking controller kept desynchronizing right in the middle of boss fights, and I was like, God damn it.
That sucks.
Anyway, May 19th of this year, Soldiers coming out, PS5, PS4. Pretty cool. I also really like Haunted House Renovator.
Oh my God.
Which, I put in here because I was like, what a goof. We can rip on it. But it looks kind of cool because it's just House Flipper, except there's also a bunch of spooky ghost stuff in here.
It's kind of cool, actually.
There's blood, and there's like symbols on the walls. And then eventually there's like ghosts, and you have to like just catch them and then be like, all right, get out of here. I'm trying to remodel this place. Like, stop it. There's like rats that you can spray for. I don't know. This seems kind of charming where you have to just do the house flipper thing, but then there's a bunch of ghosts and you just fucking...
I'd love for that gag to show up where it's like, oh, here's your problem. You have it set to evil.
There's like goblins. You catch little goblins and stuff. And there's like bloody pictures. I love the idea of this. It looks great. Like, It looks really fun. There's a point where they show like putting up new wallpaper, and then at one point there's like a skeleton in a big hole in the wall, and they're just like, maybe put a grandfather clock in front of that and just fucking hide it. Like,
deal with that shit.
And then once you're done, you can flip that shit. You can sell it.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah. On hauntedhouse.com. So
it's fucking funny.
I think it had that was just a reveal trailer. It's coming in 2023.
Oh, okay. So
PC, Xbox,
from now.
Switch, yeah. We also got, did you end up watching the trailer for Tekken Bloodline, Michael?
I didn't watch the trailer, but I've been reading about this for a bit.
Okay.
Because it's a prequel, or it's a prequel to Tekken 3 specifically.
Which one is Tekken 3?
It's the first appearance of Jin Kazama.
Oh, okay.
Which is this is about him as a youngin being trained by his mother. I forgot her name already, to be honest.
Yeah, she's training him, and then like Ogre shows up, and they gotta fucking leave, and then he goes later on in the trailer, and he's like, I'm looking for my grandfather, and it's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that, Jin.
Yeah, don't look for Heihachi.
You don't want to look for Heihachi.
You don't want to deal with that guy.
He's a piece of shit.
There's people off of volcanoes for the fuck of it.
Yeah. Oh my God! Do you remember the Smash Brothers trailer?
That was the best fucking trailer
in the volcano.
Just his dad, Kazuya, just throwing people fucking off the cliffs,
and then fucking he tried it with was like Kirby.
Yeah, just flies away.
The animation for this looks really good. I don't know how it's going to be. I liked Baki the Grappler, so I don't know if it's going to be like that. But
maybe, I don't know.
We see a few different folks. We see Heihachi, Ogre. King is in here somewhere. One of those other douchebag dudes is in here.
I wonder what voice they're going to get for Heihachi now, because the other voice actor died. The second voice actor died, too.
Oh, I don't know. You can listen to it. I'm not turning it on right now. That guy.
Paul.
Yeah. And they show,
King.
what's his face really quick.
His King being all king-like.
No, his dad. Jin's dad.
Kazuya.
Kazuya, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like... it's one of those things where it's like, I can't tell you whether to watch this. Don't you have Netflix? If not, don't watch it. If yes, turn it on and then turn it off if you hate it. Like,
do you like Tekken? Yeah, give it a shot. That's really what it comes down to. It looks, I like that. So what the trailer looks like, it's looks pretty good.
3D CG animation, but then also,
but it's not like super obvious like a lot of the other ones I've seen.
Yeah, it blends together pretty well. They've done a good job of. They're getting a lot better at making it look like. Yeah. Oh, it's actually hand animated.
That was also, I think Ogre was also the boss to Tekken 3, if I remember correctly.
Who's Heihachi's dad?
Jinpachi.
Jinpachi?
Yeah.
Dude, fuck that guy.
That dude was difficult.
I fucking hate that guy. The
Kazuya ending for that is amazing. The
eyeball laser motherfucker.
I told you the ending of that one, right?
No.
The ending if you beat him with Kazuya is this great moment where like Kazuya's looking at Jinpachi and he's having this great flashback of hanging out with his grandfather as a kid. They're like, "Yeah, I love you, granddad," and then he snaps his neck, and he's like, "Fuck you."
Let's see, in other Netflix news, I don't know why, but apparently they're making a Resident Evil series.
Sure.
You got a release
Let's go
date?
with this.
It's coming out this summer, July 14th. It's just called Resident Evil. It is a live action series. It's about Wesker's daughter, and Wesker is played by Lance Reddick.
Really?
I mean, I don't really care, but
That's
like,
a weird choice.
yeah, that's a straight. I mean, like, look, I'm not.
Also,
I'm not saying this because
did
Lance
Wesker
Reddick
have a daughter?
is black, but like, I don't think of Lance Reddick. Like, there are other people that I could think of doing a good Wesker, but Lance Reddick isn't cheesy enough to be Wesker.
I don't know. That varies.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Well,
but Lance Reddick has a very specific way of talking. Is the thing.
maybe I'm just a big racist. I don't know.
No, well, that's not my issue. Is just that like that's just a weird choice in general.
Yeah.
Because he's known for very specific things. That very slicked back hair of his.
Yep.
And his sunglasses that he wears at all times, no matter what time of day it is.
Yep.
I don't see Lance Reddick having long slick back hair.
Like, I'm just trying to imagine Lance Reddick wearing a Wesker outfit, and it doesn't
compute.
It doesn't work. My brain will not refuses to make it happen.
He looks like a dude from the Matrix, if that's my thought. He looks like Morpheus in my head.
Sure.
If he's dressed like fucking, well, I'll just say Wesker looked like he belonged in the Matrix by that point, but still, like, it doesn't compute.
So here's the description. Year 2036, 14 years after a deadly virus caused a global apocalypse, Jade Wesker fights for survival in a world overrun by bloodthirsty, infected, and insane creatures. In this absolute carnage, Jade is haunted by her past in New Raccoon City, by her father's chilling connections to the Umbrella Corporation, but mostly by what happened to her sister, Billy.
So this is a whole other timeline in general.
Well, I read this and I'm just like, do you guys understand why we like Resident Evil? Because it doesn't seem like
No,
it.
they don't.
It doesn't appear that you understand even remotely what people like about Resident Evil.
Basically, Jake does not exist in this universe, which is Wesker's son, in
Which is good.
Resident Evil 6.
Because
I love Jake because all he did was kung fu fight everything to the death, which is basically all I did when I used them.
Yeah. This is the weirdest fucking concept for Resident Evil I've ever heard.
I don't like this concept, not because of the Lance Reddick thing, because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I love Lance Reddick. More Lance
I love
Reddick, please.
I want Lance Reddick in everything, to be honest. He's great. He's also one of the bad guys in that other Remedy game that you never played, Quantum Break.
Oh,
yeah, he's
okay.
in that game.
He's in Destiny, right?
Yeah, he's also in Destiny. He plays one of
the guy in Destiny.
main guys in Destiny.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. I love Lance Reddick. He's a great fucking actor.
I don't know if I just let's see. Is there
Just
like
not-
a mock-up? Wesker?
Just not fucking Wesker that I would have
Lance
expected.
Reddick Wesker image search.
That's just pictures of him and other stuff. Yeah.
I guess if you use serious Wesker, maybe he's got a little. Okay, I mean,
I don't know. I love Lance Reddick, but it would not have been my first choice.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, like this, or somebody just fucking like really badly MS painted like Johnny Bravo hair and sunglasses onto it.
Yeah, I love that. Like it's a fusion of what he would say in fucking Destiny.
Yeah,
as well. What the fuck?
I don't. Why does searching for Lance Reddick Wesker bring up a picture of Ted Cruz and fucking Hellboy Ron Perlman?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sure that's just something that happened
it's
on
part
accident.
of a Variety article. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
amazing.
I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense to me. Sure.
Not
Sure.
again. Not my first choice for him.
Did anybody even watch the last Resident Evil movie that came out?
I never got a chance to.
I didn't watch it
I
either.
wanted to.
I don't care.
I didn't. I never found it on anything.
I don't care. I don't give a shit. All right. Oh my God, we're almost done here. Suicide Squad pushed back 2023.
I keep forgetting this game exists.
Yep.
Which is not a good thing, to be honest.
I don't, because I actually am really excited. I really want to play this game.
Well, it's the thing is, like, we heard so little about it, and then I was so annoyed by the Superman thing.
Yep.
And then I forgot it existed again, because time is fucking insane.
Yep.
During our time frame now. And then I remembered again when the Suicide Squad came out, because I realized that half the cast in this game, or at least of the four that main people you're using, are known for the other movie.
The first Suicide Squad, yes.
So now people are going to be like, I'd rather be Idris Elba's character now because they like him better than Will Smith's character.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good still. It's just, sure, let's... I don't know. It keeps getting delayed at this point.
I think that there's a reason for this, and I don't necessarily think it's for I don't think it got delayed for the reason that they said.
What was the reason they said?
That just like, oh, we need more time to work on it. But I think that what happened, honestly, is that Gotham Knights got pushed back, and they didn't want to release both of them in the same year near each other. And so they pushed back Suicide Squad to make room for Gotham Knights later on in the year.
Is Gotham Knights supposed to come out this year?
Yes.
Okay.
It's supposed to come out later this year.
Actually,
so,
that would make sense. Actually,
like if Gotham Knights got pushed into October, November, you can't put this game out.
It would be a bad. You're cannibalizing your own audience at that point.
You're not only cannibalizing your own audience, but you're also going up against like all the standard heavy hitters of Call of Duties and whatnot.
Double fucking yourself at that point.
So yeah,
it does give them time to tweak some stuff though, so that's good for them.
Yeah, man. I'd rather have it good than have it soon. Let's see. Now I know. Okay, you're not that excited about the pushback for this, Michael, but what about the pushback for Starship Troopers Terran Command? It was supposed to come out later this month.
I forgot.
I told you it was supposed to come out later this month. And then it got pushed back to June. So, yeah, there's a Starship Troopers game, y'all. I don't know if any of you know this, but like there is a Starship Troopers game. It's like a weird kind of three-quarters top-down strategy game.
The urge to wish to know more intensifies, Jeff.
Yes. Well, if my browser would ever load the YouTube video, I would show it to you, but apparently not. It looks like garbage.
That movie does age better as it goes on, though.
It looks like total and complete dick.
I'm not surprised. Do you remember when there was a cartoon based on Starship Troopers?
Oh, that was just an ad. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I should just scroll down a little further. Yes, I do remember that cartoon.
It was a weird cartoon.
Do you remember the sequel movie that had Casper Van Diem in it?
I do not remember that.
Like an eye patch or something? Like they made one of those direct to video.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it looks like a top down like RTS kind of. And it kind of looks bad.
It doesn't look very good at all.
It kind of looks bad.
Animations are really bad.
Yeah. Like later
and that's
on,
saying something.
There's more bugs, but there's still not in like the numbers from the movie. And also, is anybody nostalgic for Starship Troopers still?
So a lot of people are still really like the first one, but it's not really a franchise that stayed around for very long.
Yeah.
People still rediscover it as the years go on because I think it's one of those movies that's aged really well.
Okay. And then last, before we get to the fun stuff, you remember We Were Here? Is that co-op game that I played with Jason? I played with Grant. There's a fourth one called We Were Here Forever, and it's coming out in May.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm gonna be really, really happy about that because I really like these. These are super fun games to make videos for Rage Select for because they literally, I don't have to come up with any jokes. It's just we literally have to solve the puzzles together,
and that is pretty funny on its own.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's gonna be longer.
It's gonna be a little longer. It's gonna be about 12 hours instead of like in the 2 to 6 range. And slightly more expensive at around $18.
Ooh, the grand finale to their stories.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
Yeah. And then finally, we've got some Elden Ring fun stuff. Michael, you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. First up, we've got a person showing that if a fully powered up Ash summon can solo bosses by literally summoning Ash summon and then laying down on the ground in the fetal position.
Oh my god.
And letting it just solo bosses. Now, I think it's worth noting that none of these bosses are like Godric or
they're not the main bosses. They're all like side bosses.
Yeah, like the first boss they had in here was the boss from the opening area dungeon that anybody can kill at like level 1. But
this one's in a mine because I just fought this one not that long ago.
Just goes to show you that they're using Banished Knight Oleg, like fully powered up Ash summons. Fucking rule.
They're
like,
great. They're super helpful.
If you are having trouble with this game, fully powered up Ash summons are fucking wonderful. There's a Clean Rot Knight. I keep forgetting how many of these characters become just enemies later on. Also, they don't appear to be able to take like poison damage.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
so you can just send them out.
Just letting them do shit while you just huddle as a ball. That's always a good
I wonder
thing.
how you kill those fucking things.
Oh, they suck.
They're the worst.
Yep. The blighted blooms.
That's just T-posing.
Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that boss, yeah.
It's just most of these are like field bosses, or this guy is impressive to me though because Omen Killer actually was hard when I fought him.
Oh, really?
But I fought him probably too early because I was obsessed with trying to figure out how to get on top of the fucking big plateau in Lemuria Lakes or whatever. So, also this dog throughout this entire video just threatens to accidentally bop this guy out of his fetal position, but it never manages to.
Because he's on top of something.
He's on top of like a roof. But yeah, power up your Ash summons, y'all. Like, just do it. You will not be sorry.
No, they're great.
Second, I don't know if you've seen this, but speaking of Ash summons, apparently the Ash summons in the game are just like a spreadsheet.
Oh, really?
So you can literally and they're just summoning other characters that already have AIs in them. So people are just going in and fucking with the summons, like subbing in other things. Like this one guy just put the big rolling cart that insta kills everybody that comes from the heroes dungeon as like an Ash summon. And there's another one that the same person has where they literally summon one of the big stompy guys, the big what are they, like the walking catacombs or whatever they are.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it takes quite a while to be able to goad it into actually jumping up and doing its like big area attack where it jumps. But once it does, they're doing this on that first camp full of guys that it just fucking kills everybody in one shot.
It still hurts him though.
Yeah,
that's kind of amazing.
I actually saw somebody mod in summoning like the bosses.
Oh,
like summoning in the actual end of game bosses in a way that was kind of interesting. But I think the mod community is going to have a lot of fun with this one.
Oh, they're going to fuck around with this thing forever, and I love them for it.
Actually, they might have already kind of hit peak because this one guy had this kind of list of of mods. That
this is the guy that this is the guy I was telling you about when he modded Sifu. And it's where he had the bad guy be fucking Po from Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, he modded Homer as the main character in here.
Yeah, every one of his videos starts with "this game but ruined by mods."
Yeah,
and they're amazing. You guys should look up his stuff. They're really funny.
What's he called? Let's find out. This is Garden. No, wait. No, the Garden of Eyes is the guy that made the thing.
I think it's Toasted Shoes. Is that what it said?
Toasted Shoes.
Yes. He has a lot of really good ones because he just plays games and he just adds all the mods to it.
Yeah, apparently Torrent in this is a Slinky Dog from Toy Story.
Oh my god!
And Princess Bubblegum is what's her face, the maiden lady. The soldiers are the messed up, the kind of wretches are all Elmos.
Oh my god!
So they're all just like these horrible Elmos during the tutorial part. All of the like the soldiers that wear armors that you see are Pepe's.
Fucking hell.
I think this is okay, but I think it really gets good when you finally get outside because the forest knight. Oh no, yes, they made the sheep into Sonics because you know how the sheep will curl up and roll away, and so they totally look like Sonic when they curl up. They look terrible when they're on all fours, but then they curl up and roll away.
Oh my god!
They made the forest knight into Shrek and Donkey.
That's amazing.
Which is pretty crazy.
Holy shit! That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, y'all should go watch this. Even though most of the commentary is not as quality as Rage Select is.
Yeah, that's the only thing is the commentary is not the best, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just interesting to see the mods that he finds for these games.
I am surprised, Michael. Michael, how long did you spend trying to fight the Forest Guardian or whatever?
I did a bit, but not like super early on. I didn't fight him until I was maybe level 20 the first try.
I'm kind of surprised at the number of people who just like see that guy and they're like, I'm going to fight him.
Yeah.
And then they get wrecked and they're like, no, I'm really going to fight him. And it's like, what are you doing?
I kept coming back. I didn't beat him until I was like level 35, I think, or something like that.
I like the fact that they made the turtles into Goofy because the thing that people put down, like, is this dog or whatever for the turtles in the game.
That's kind of amazing.
So, yep.
What a crazy fucking thing.
Yep. And that's it. Oh yeah, they put the wolves into Rainbow Dashes from My Little Pony.
That's fucking amazing.
And then what the first boss is fucking guy from
King Julian,
Madagascar. Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh fucking hell.
It's kind of interesting how well this thing takes the weird meshes from other characters.
Yeah. Some of them do pretty well.
Yeah.
But some of them are probably like the Sonic one was just horrifying.
And that's it, everybody.
I don't feel like I got that thing.
I'm done. The Flame Drake Talisman?
I don't remember having that.
Did you go to the Wolf Cave?
I guess
right
not.
next to the.
I guess I didn't.
The very first cave next to the forest where the guys are.
I guess I didn't.
No?
I guess I have something I need to do later.
Yeah. It's fire resistance. Very useful.
I did not have that this whole time.
Very useful.
Would have been great against that dragon.
Yes, it is. It's very good against the dragon.
I did not use it on that dragon.
All right. That's it. There's no more. I'm done. I'm officially done with this podcast. And yes, Michael, tell the fine people of the internet where they can find you.
You can find me on oneofus.net. I do a lot of movie and television reviews. I'm supposed to watch Morbius next week. So,
oh my God, is that coming out?
It's supposed to come out. It's supposed to come out on April 1st.
No, that's not true. That's an April Fool's joke.
No, apparently
that is an April
true.
Fool's joke.
Yeah.
You'll put Morbius out on. No, come on.
That's real.
Okay.
Somebody bought me a ticket, so I'm gonna watch Morbius.
I want to see that movie too because everybody knows how big a fan I am of the Venom verse. So
yeah, that's true.
I want to see the next big thing in the Venom verse. But this seems like it's too serious. There doesn't seem to be as much shit talking with a giant goop monster.
Apparently, according to early people having watched it,
yeah,
there's all the Easter eggs and stuff people saw in the trailers aren't in the fucking movie.
Great. So. All right. Well, we'll find out about that. Yep. Can't even talk anymore. That's it. Bye.